Yep, I would say leaving losses in the past is definitely a good idea for Gen.G.
Well, they specifically said last year's losses in the past. They had some losses this year, but they probably want to
No, but like maybe they can leave all of the losses in the past.
Just all of them.
Leave them in the past. The past is the past. Today is a brand new day. And Gen.G are going to walk out into LoL Park for the first time for the LCK 2026 season here at the Pajak LoL Park. I'm looking forward to seeing what this team has done to bounce back, because it was a very difficult loss against G2 in first stand. It's what we've been alluding to this entire time. And I think that getting back on the horse is going to be really, really important here in their first match back.
And I think the reason we tend to over-focus on their losses is because they just win so much.
Yeah, there aren't very many of the losses, are there?
Oh. Kayak hari ini tidak bisa nonton 1080, Bung.
To win.
Welcome ya.
But we're used to them being the team to raise the trophy as they did last year.
Exactly right. You can see that is their LCK trophy they are standing beside now. You can see pretty somber faces on Gen.G. I think that they might be a little bit more elated after a victory. We'll just
Tapi
have to see whether they can
masih
take
bisa
down
main
this
ya.
new and improved KT roster.
Udah kena ini, udah rehat dulu. Habis kena kasus.
Get behind their new support. I think Effort didn't exactly have a standout performance individually in their first match back, but I really liked how KT had kind of changed and evolved as a team around having that new voice on the bottom side of the map. And speak of the devil, and they shall appear. KT roster to make their way out onto the Pajak LoL Park stage for the second time so far this season. The first time was beautiful, and man, you looked at this schedule for KT, and you were like, oh
Let's
man,
go,
it's doomed.
BDD.
KT fans are like, yeah, we've
Kasih
been
tahu
here
Bang
before.
Coffee ini
But
siapa
they managed to
bosnya.
2-0 T1 in their first match. Can they do it again? If they do it again, like think about this round, like round one, in the bag, baby.
Yeah, it's a big confidence boost, and I think Effort, they needed that stability in the bot lane, had a really solid performance, but I think the whole team was kind of overshadowed by Perfect, and the performance he put in, a player who struggled to sort of match the highs we sometimes see from him, but I mean, if he plays to that level, I mean, he has to match up against Keen. It's a tall order, but he took down Doran very convincingly in that previous series. So another big name ahead of him. We'll see what he can do.
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there is a lot of history between these two teams as well. Very fun to see BDD, who was the title player for Gen.G for so long, up against Keen, who of course was on KT in some of their better times as well. And so going to be staring across from one another, and we'll see whether KT can do it like they did in those semifinals up against Gen.G at Worlds 2025. Once again, they could pip them at the post, as it were. What does pip mean? I've never really understood that.
It just makes me think of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Pippin?
Yeah.
They Pippined me at the post. This is when Pippin's standing next to a post.
Yes.
That's what it is.
We've gone to the bottom of it, nailed it,
sense.
yeah.
Billy Boyd. It all just comes back to Billy Boyd, doesn't it, in the end? It's all right. Players getting ready to dive onto the Rift here for game number one. Man, that just has completely thrown me through a loop. I think that there were other things that we were going to talk about, but we're just going to have to shelve them for now because I pipped us. I pipped us off the script.
You really pippined us to the post on this.
Oh no, not more Pippins.
Yeah, well, at least we're feeling quite merry now.
Oh, there you go. Got to include both of them. Otherwise, yeah.
You can never have one without the other.
Upset.
There's going to be a match today that we are going to talk about at some point, but
yeah, it hasn't started yet. We're allowed to talk about Pippins and posts and stuff like that. I think it's completely fine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Aiming and Ruler have been up against each other many, many times throughout the years. I'm interested in Effort versus Duro, the old versus the young. You know?
Yeah.
This could be like an opportunity for Effort to show that he's still got the hands, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's going to work because Duro's really, really good. His hand's very, very good. But it might be, this could be a very, very good test. And if Effort manages to pass it, look at that. looking quietly confident on your screen right there.
Yeah, and you know, we had him on the space in the last series for an interview, and he was talking about how, you know, Cuz really helped bring him into the fold on the team. Obviously, they had that pre-existing time together when they won T1.
Yep.
I think jungle support was really important at first stand, going to continue to be so. I think Cuz and Effort have that pre-existing synergy, but Canyon and Duro have been a really strong duo as well, more so this year than last year. I think they were a bit more disconnected then.
Yep.
And could be a big factor in this series. Can they link up? Can they impact the map? Can they get the ball rolling sooner rather than later?
Well, we're going to get into the draft now to see exactly what balls are going to get chosen. It wasn't a great transition. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Yeah, first pick going to go over to Gen G as they had right of first selection, and so they will be on the red side as KT decided to go on towards blue. Shyvana going to be banned as she will be throughout the week, but I don't think that she'll be played even if she wasn't banned because this is the hotfix version. And so first ban to come through here for Gen G. Do they want to be swapping Oriannas and Azirs, things like that? That is going to be the question mark here. The Nautilus is going to be the first one banned away, which I find quite intriguing. Maybe just an instant Ashe Seraphine could be like what they're thinking about. I don't know. What does Nautilus ban scream to you?
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, I feel like as much as Nautilus can be a big threat, I think he's also a threat to things like Yunara, you know, when you have those hyper carries are quite mobile. Is an interesting one. Pantheon is more what we typically expect. Rumble has been taken away. Karma is another ban that is just... Rumble and Karma, the two picks have been perma-banned every game so far.
Yep.
And so far, something we've seen as a trend is Ryze and Azir have just been the first picks.
Yep.
In 3 out of 4 series,
sekarang Azir udah jarang di-ban sih ya.
Ryze.
Orang-orang udah pada tahu calon Azir.
Well, it hasn't even been Ryze against Azir. It's been like Ryze has been first picked. And
Ryze against?
Not Ryze, it hasn't been Ryze against.
Great band. Really, really good band.
It's been like separate, so now Ryze has been banned.
Terlihat chill hari ini.
It feels like Gen G might be setting up
Apakah effort masterclass lagi kah? Real.
Whenever he can be, pretty much.
The Orianna first pick.
Games. Okay, yeah, he's been banned out, so those two off the cards.
Orianna bakal dilepas kah ini sama KT?
Like if Orianna gets banned
Orianna
here, as it will, do we pick mid here or do we just lock in a Vi or a Jarvan or something like that?
Yeah, ada Vi, ada Jarvan buat jungle, blind pick.
I think there's no huge pressure to take mid now. You could even look towards like an AD carry if you wanted to. There's
Yunara
also
juga
like strong
free,
picks,
Yunara.
things like Ambessa and stuff that I've seen
Yunara,
a lot of priority.
Good point.
You can flex between like jungle and top. There's a lot of good junglers open. There's like Xin Zhao.
Oh, ini
like
flex Aurora ya. Ini Aurora bisa di top lane, bisa di mid lane.
Insane game on it in the LCK Cup, and it can be flexed between mid and top.
Yep,
so,
Kane a very good Aurora player himself.
I guess with the mid pool being thinned out, looking
Aurora.
to prioritize that.
Bagaimana KT akan menjawab?
Is there anything that can very comfortably go into an
Ezreal
Aurora?
first pick? Okay.
Ezreal Karma looks to be the option here.
Ezreal Karma. Karma is free.
When Effort was going to be forced onto something that isn't an enchanter, but so far it has been Seraphine, Lulu, and now Karma.
Yeah, and Ezreal Karma going through is kind of crazy. Again, Karma has
Aurora
been banned every single series till now. It's also the fact you're getting Ezreal and Karma, which is the duo
and
you kind of look for.
Has been like, he's the self-proclaimed best Ezreal, he's said it many times.
Ashe.
But they're going to be up against the Ashe Seraphine.
Ashe Seraphine.
The Ezreal Karma is extremely strong. Is it strong enough to be able to take down this lane?
Belakangnya tinggal ke santai guys.
I think a lot of it comes down to execution. There's a lot of poke from the Ashe, from the Ezreal Karma, but it's quite skill shot based.
Ini Kas harus main
I honestly think that it's going to come down to execution in this 2v2
yang bisa
matchup.
ngedodge.
I do think it's easier for the Ashe
Seraphine.
There's a lot of damage is harder to avoid. But to be fair, Karma Mantra Q is so big.
Ini Jace bisa di top lane, bisa di jungle.
You said skill shot based. I'm like, is that really? We've seen it miss, but we laugh at it when it does miss.
Enak sih kalau lawan Seraphine, mending gak usah ada front line.
I think the Ezreal's the big factor. If you're not connecting the Mystic Shots, you can really just struggle in that lane.
Ani kali midnya ya. Mid
I'm
Ani.
surprised he didn't take jungle here.
Yeah, I was thinking the Xin Zhao was going to be a shoe-in.
Ya?
I think Xin Zhao is good, but also like stuff like Jarvan into the Ashe Seraphine specifically has a ton of value.
Yeah.
Something that you can really just put pressure down any. I think the main thing is we're talking about like the 2v2 matchup bot being about execution. I think it's more so which jungler comes bot first and executes the enemy bot lane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's going to be a big factor.
Well, Annie going to be taken away here. We're just going down the
Yeah,
list
Annie-nya
of things that BDD could play in the
Annie
mid
enak
lane
itu
and taking
kalau
them away
misalkan
from
lawan
him.
Seraphim.
Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 mid lane bans.
Yeah, and obviously the Aurora taken away as well, just really thinning the pool out. Pistol options, you know, Ari got a little bit of a nerf, but still playable. Still like Galio.
Yep. I actually really quite like Galio. Imagine if it was like Galio Nocturne or something to be locked in here for KT.
That would
look pretty good.
See, it'd be a big threat. My only concern with Galio Nocturne is that, like, I really like the Galio with, like, immediate CC to set him up. You know, if you have, like, Galio Nocturne Rakan, that'd feel great. Because otherwise, you know, people can flash out or disengage before the tether comes in. And then the engage might not fully work out. But
it's jelek banget gambarnya.
But it's still a big threat. And if you catch someone isolated, they are just going to die.
Could just be a Jarvan if they would like to. KT, we'll see what they do decide to go with. The reason my mind went to Nocturne is because Cuz looked pretty good last time they played.
Gen.G focused more bans on mid here instead of cutting away at the junglers.
Xin Zhao.
So it looks like they are going to go for the Xin Zhao pickup.
Xin Karma, pretty strong.
Yeah, I think Xin with Enchanters is just so good. And the fact
Oh
that
ya,
you
ada
have the
Enchanter, Xin Zhao bagus.
pair it with Karma, the
Berarti
alternative
itu
with them
Jace
pairing
top
it
lane
with
ya.
Seraphine.
Kalau Jace top lane biasanya pakai Ornn, Kin.
Sorry, he's gone.
Yeah, something we saw often paired with
Kin
Seraphine
mungkin
was the
pakai
Mundo.
Ornn di sini.
Yeah, true.
So could lean towards that if you really wanted to, but there's still a lot of good junglers available. I think Jarvan just kind of still there. Nocturne still works.
What's the blind top lane pick as well? Cassante. I guess that works.
Keen Sante, it's a classic.
And what is it? Oh no. Oh,
Kin Sante is here.
Oh, Daniel, does he do it again? Does he do it again?
Ini Vayne top kah?
Imagine.
Perfect. Kayaknya ini nantang si Perfect main Vayne top lane deh.
Imagine if Perfect picks Vayne into Keen
Iya,
and
kayaknya
beats
sih.
him with it.
And they flex the Jace mid.
Tantangan kah dari Perfect? Tapi gak bisa Perfect. Jangan main Vayne anjir, ada Nocturne, cok.
Yeah, the Jace didn't actually play into my mind.
Vayne, don't play. Vayne, don't.
Like we were talking about
Perfect,
before,
no.
picked up on the other side is Effort. Obviously going to be hovering the Nasus.
There is Nocturne, don't play Vayne. Don't play Vayne.
You've got some water over there. Good.
Yeah.
I saw it in the pot.
Oh, dia main Jace. Okay.
Zoe, a consideration here for BDD. Man, they are going all in on poke. There is no
Perfect
engage.
main
They are just
Jace,
going to
BDD main
outrange
Zoe.
and out-annoy you.
Literally, Zoe terkuat di
this KT
LCK.
composition has played out because you obviously have this poke setup, which is really strong. But as you said, they don't have the reliable engage. It's just kind of run at them if we want to get on target. Otherwise, we are just...
No. I don't think they should ever run at them.
Well, yeah, but
they should run away from them.
If they find an isolated target, it is just run at them. Otherwise, it's just playing for poke. But on the side of Gen.G, you have a lot of dive threat. And once the Nocturne goes in, you have like the Seraphine ult can go across the top. You have the Ashe ult to follow up. There's a lot of pick potential on Gen.G. And generally, poke compositions don't do well when there's a lot of long-range pick and engage that can come through.
Kapan Zoe Showmaker bagus?
And trying to set up on a flank to get angles. Nocturne can just go for you, and he can spell shield the bubble, and then what else do you have in terms of peel tools?
Kapan Zoe-nya bagus.
I think I'm a little bit concerned. I do think KT's composition, if executed well, has a lot of potential, but I think Gen.G has a bit more of a straightforward see champion, kill champion vibe to what they've brought to the table.
Yeah, I'm interested in how it's going to go.
Akankah effort Masterclass atau emang kemarin lawan badut aja?
KT composition that is going to be very difficult to execute.
Winnable.
But if a poke composition like this,
not gonna lie,
does get ahead and they are able to play it out well, it can feel so impossible to do anything into. But you do have to play it very, very well, and there is a decent amount of hard engage on the Gen.G side of things. It is a very stock standard style of composition here, and Gen.G have been so good at making it work no matter what. Even if KT's off to a phenomenal start, I don't think we're ever going to be counting Gen.G out. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 of KT versus Gen.G.
Kofi sudah disodok early game.
A bunch of times. It's a little bit cute. BDD is going to be here as well. Does not quite find Paddle Star damage. but is going to get control of the wave. That's pretty nice. One thing I do want to talk about is the fact that Canyon has once again chosen the correct skin on Nocturne. Spooky Ghost Nocturne is 100% the greatest. And you can, like, why would you ever play the weird red drill?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Spooky Ghost exists. That's the one that you play. That's the rule.
I will say something from Cuz waiting there. Okay, that's some big poke.
Yeah, it's
from Cuz waiting there and denying Chovy. He forced Chovy to start W level 1 and stopped him from getting a ward in the jungle. So actually pretty solid advantage there overall. Effort's getting some good poke down already on a Duro. Duro not being able to dodge these Qs, and everyone that hits, you're getting that lower cooldown on the Mantra, which is obviously way harder to dodge.
Yep. Pretty big deal. As BDD taking a bit of damage here from Chovy, gets that electrocute proc, but otherwise things are looking all right. It's an airy take here for BDD as well, as Effort is just continuing to be frustrating. Does miss the Mantra Q though, so we need to add a little bit of a chuckle. So not exactly optimal. Keen taking a lot of damage here towards this top side of the map, as we do have vertical jungling ensuing here between these two squads. And I imagine for KT that feels pretty good. Their jungler is on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, definitely a big advantage in leveraging the really strong level 1 off this Ezreal Karma so they can push in. And, you know, Canyon's kind of read this quite well, and it's just matched on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's just already there.
Yeah, so despite the fact he didn't get that ward in, didn't get that information, he's responded as he should. And Ruler and Duro aren't really in a position where they can be dove, so the end result is not really a huge punish for Gen G in this situation.
Yeah, not too bad. Canyon getting some vision over as well, so not going to miss out on too much. So it is just going to be a mirrored start here for both junglers. Canyon, good adaptation, as Rift Scuttle is going to be going down as well. So
sih harus banget ya Mas Arifim, kayak enggak juga. Sama Lulu bisa, sama Leona bisa. Tapi kalau misalkan bisa dapat Seraphim, ambil. Kalau Seraphim gak di-ban, ambil lah.
Doing a whole lot of extra damage though, as now BDD taking a fair bit himself. Canyon looking for a little bit of a drive-by as the Dustbringer doesn't quite connect. Is Perfect going to do it again, man? He's been racking up these solo kills so far. Is it the year of Perfect, actually? In the LCK Cup, we started with the year of Dudu. I tried to make the year of Vikla a thing. That didn't age all that well. Maybe, moving into the LCK for 2026, it's the year of Perfect.
It could be, you know, it's looking promising right now. And I love how we just keep switching.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go.
That's the angle.
It's going to be everyone's year at some point.
Yeah.
Oh iya, sejauh ini LCK kagak ada yang 3 game ya? Tadi aku nih welcome to my Beat. Sejauh ini kagak ada 3 game tuh LCK, 2-0 semua.
But right now looks pretty good. Perfect, and it is his year, as we just stated.
I think one thing with this bot lane matchup is the Ashe Seraphine gets so much power at level 6, whereas the Karma really doesn't.
Kira-kira siapa yang kena 2-0? KT atau Genji? I mean, statically, gimana sih cara ngomongnya? Statistically, KT punya poin lebih unggul dari Genji overall. Itu artinya mereka punya pengalaman lebih dari Genji season ini. Yang berarti, artinya apa? Ya, benar sekali. Artinya Genji 2-0, KT kalah. Selalu apapun pilihanmu, selalu ragu pada KT. Selalu ragukan mereka.
Now Cuz moving towards that top side of the map though, is now Keen going to get booped back by that hammer. Perfect still looking for some options. Flash does come on through here.
Nice dodge. Oh, Keen first blood guard.
Does not get him to safety. And he's trying to get the kill back, but it doesn't work. And first blood goes to Perfect.
Kesante.
Up there, Keen trying to find an angle away and is unsuccessful. Doesn't win his flash is one thing, but still ends up going down.
Very cute though. Like, I actually liked how Perfect played it because he did not hesitate flashing out of the way of that Q, and we saw just how close to death he actually came after that all-out, all-in happened.
Full respect given.
Gak mau dikasih naganya atau mau itu kena tuh. Oh, Nocturne died.
Kill goes over to BDD. They lose out out on the
Diambil
Drake.
sama bocil
But KT 2-0.
mengerikan, bocil kematian.
Did he spell? Was he? Because sometimes you can. Well, you can spell shield the dragon damage to get the attack speed. I'm wondering if it was on cooldown. Because he didn't
Iya,
spell shield
spell
like
shield tuh
right
udah
at the
cooldown
very
kah?
end.
Kayaknya.
Very weird not to spell
Atau
shield the
teori
bubble
nabung
in that
gold mungkin,
situation. So,
investasi.
yeah, I'm a little confused there. I feel like if he'd spell shielded the bubble,
Teori
would have been
nabung
fine.
gold.
Let's have a look.
Maybe just didn't see it.
I don't
with
know
the
what is
dragon,
the
'cause you
plan,
see
but
here,
seems like a plan.
very late.
Yeah, so maybe it'd just come back up.
That's what I'm thinking, because you know you can spell shield the dragon attack to get the attack speed. So it may have just come up, or maybe he just didn't see the bubble and it got caught out. Either way, it's a good collapse from KT. They get rewarded, even though they missed out on the dragon. Now, is Chemtech Ocean first 2 dragons? So immediately I'm thinking, ooh, that's pretty good soul.
Heck yeah. As effort. Looking for Duro here. Does manage to snare him momentarily, but he should be all right. Is this Seraphine after all?
Okay, Ruler is about to hit 6. Duro is about halfway there.
Ruler has a pretty good first back too.
Yeah, this is the point where we can really see this matchup pivot quite heavily. So Effa has to be careful, especially because a big defensive factor for Karma is having the Mantra W. That heal is so powerful in early 2v2s, gives you so much extra health. If your Mantra's down...
Oh, here's the paranoia.
Oh my
That's perfect,
god,
trying to get himself out there, but he is feared up and destroyed. An easy gank here from Canyon. And first ulti being good is a fantastic start here for the Nocturne.
Very straightforward, you know, answering back that earlier gank from Kurz and getting a good, successful first Nocturne ult. Keen even gets the Crystalline Overgrowth to help him out with that first plate.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if Effort ever uses his mantra badly, it's just so easy, like that.
Yep, for example.
Yeah.
Let's see whether Ruler does pull the trigger. Level 5 for the Karma, but doesn't exactly need level 6, as we know. As aiming, Arcane shifting forward, that's dangerous. Beat drop is going to miss, though. And KT still keeping themselves relatively healthy in this lane. As Cuz looking to start off these grubs. Definitely good for a Jace composition. You want to be playing a fair bit of 4-1, I could imagine, with a poke comp like this. Because 5v5 is not
Ini
exactly
BDD
going to be
sebagus ini
aim
Kak dari
of the
dulu.
game. As
BDD kan
True Shot Barrage
top
connects
3
here
mid
onto
laner
Roar
di
as the arrow
dunia.
is traded. There's the encore onto Effort. They want to try and kill him, but the high note not going to be enough. And Genji did throw the kitchen sink at them. KT just
top
kind of
5.
caught it.
I feel like Gen G's bot lane are playing this so defensively. Like,
Emang sayang
really
aja.
Ultimates, but they're
Kadang
playing
timnya
really respectful
top 1 siapa?
in ways
Ya,
that I
Faker lah,
just don't
pecat.
think they needed to, if I'm being honest.
Faker
I mean, this
lah,
was the gank
makin
earlier, not much to say about
nanya.
a very easy setup, but they're giving so much respect to Effort, and you saw how close he came to dying when they connected their ults, but they were already backing away. And I think they really should have leveraged that ult power a lot more. But they're
1-2
playing on
Choppy
such a
Faker.
defensive, in such a defensive way. Seems a bit weird to me. I think Ruler and Duro definitely could have pushed a bit more and looked for a kill, because Effort was down Mantra, playing very aggressive, playing up in their faces. And in the end, it's them who are forced off, them who are burning summoners, so...
A little bit interesting. It also does show Canyon towards the bottom side. You can see Cuz already just absolutely obliterating his jungle on the top side of the map. As Canyon will discover BDD, who portal jumps around momentarily. Cuz comes on over though, and so Canyon not going to be able to do too much here to the Zoe, despite BDD taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, Canyon's ult just comes up now, so... I don't think he would have gone for it necessarily, but didn't have that threat at all in pocket, so not really looking for anything on the back of that. And now bot lane, Ruler did burn his barrier, Duro burn heal.
3 strongest mid laner sering disebut-sebut BDD, Faker, Choppy.
Never really a great target.
The double blocks on the cannon to deny it there.
Mau nanya kalau World dihapus apakah Faker masih jago? Masih. Dia menang SEA Games, dia menang banyak MSI, dia menang banyak LCK.
Going to be first item done here for the Nocturne. Still, Cuz with a little bit of a lead.
Dia pernah menang Piala Arab.
He also collects his first
Literally,
item,
like,
feeling very, very nice with that Sundered Sky already done.
Piala Kespa Cup juga punya. Dia punya Piala Kespa Cup, MSI punya. Apalagi apa piala yang dia belum punya? First 10 doang kan?
Wants to be ahead, right? It's so
Satu-satunya piala yang Faker kagak punya cuma first 10.
Clearly different ways that they want to win the game.
Yep.
And Genji, weathering the storms certainly will work for a comp like this, right? Front to back team fighting composition in the later stages of the game is certainly going to work. But KT, if they do hit critical mass, then they should just never have to really worry. As long as they can play good defensive League of Legends, then they can just
Jovi dan kembarannya main hari ini kan. Yang mana tuh kembaran Jovi?
That was a good play from Perfect. He spotted Canyon on that ward and just immediately flashed out. Canyon was gonna ult. I mean, it was very obvious.
Si Anu,
and then immediately Coach just goes for the Dragon's trade. I said that was a good play. He is sticking around. That
Clear.
may convert it into a
Emang Clear sama Jovi sama mukanya.
Yeah, he may just die anyway, as it's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, and Perfect is also going to die. Keen takes up this turret for quite some time.
Apa itu kesantet tebel bacot?
And Canyon is going to survive there as well. So another
Di lihat top global gitu gimana? Kan suka ditongolin di tiap match KDA-nya.
What just happened? That got a ghost blade. Perfect hit an item spike because of that kill.
Orang ini berapa, KDA orang ini berapa. Mid lane yang paling banyak KDA-nya ya BDD, Chovy, Faker.
Good play.
Good play, Perfect.
Good play. He just knew.
Yeah. It's his year after all. Okay.
Those are one of those plays, we call those mind control plays.
I personally call it a whoopsie. Let's have a look at this again and see how it all kind of transpired.
Yeah, we saw this stuff. Some good jukes from Perfect to buy time. Oh, the last minion just died to the other minions, and he thought he was going to take another tower hit. That's honestly, I'm going to say it.
Suka dimunculin KDA-nya.
Perfect is just going to find Canyon here. Spell shield is decent. Wants a couple more orders, but doesn't quite get them. As now BDD finds the bubble onto Chovy. Perfect goes forward. And Chovy taken down. Portal jump, beautiful. There from BDD.
Dari mana tuh orang?
It was Effort that got the kill. Certainly not the best, but now they're all at 2, and BDD finds another one. Beat drop is going to buy enough space to deny the paddle star. But still, KT, this is exactly what this composition wants to be doing.
And Perfect just getting so much value. Honestly, I think he was a little bit unlucky because Canyon's spell shield was
about to time
out, right?
I think it was so
Faker
close, and if that shot blast connects, he's just dead. And then you get the kill mid as well, not for him, but assisting with it would have been such a... I mean, already is a massive play for KT, but 2,000 gold lead this point of the game, they're feeling really good about it. They did also manage to get that second Drake. They have Grubs in pocket, looking pretty positive, and Duro and Ruler never really recovered in this bot lane 2v2. It just felt like they never offered that much resistance. Canyon never got a chance to go down there. And they hit the level 6, never really capitalized on those ults. So first tower going over to aiming an effort.
Maksud saya Faker terakhir kali menang selain World Cup tidak dihitung LCK Spring, sisanya kebanyakan rank 2.
They utilize that to also get a blue buff as flash out here from BDD.
Bro literally menang MSI, Kespa Cup, Esport World Cup, what the hell? SPKT katanya alumni T1 ya? Bukan alumni T1 lagi, alumni SKT effort mah. Ternyata sepuh dia. Mantan SKT, cok. Aduh, Genji is back. Oh no.
Genji did have to work a little bit harder for it. Let's see whether Cuz and Effort can actually make it up here in time, and it looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, Keen happened to commit the flash there, giving a lot of respect to that tower that obviously took him down earlier.
Dumbo mah kagak main, coach.
Still KT would lead, still them making some good plays, but some answers back from Genji.
Arrow. Just nails aiming. Doesn't have his cleanse up and available, and Chovy goes between the worlds. The flash out there is Cuz going to protect him from the angry Raptor. You love to see that, but aiming now without a flash.
Aiming pretty lucky to survive there, and I think his cleanse earlier was on Duro's ultimate, where, I'm going to be real, he did not need to cleanse. It was when they were walking forward onto Chovy, and he cleansed, for, like, he could have just tanked it. But I think a lot of AD carries do this, where you get hit by a CC, and you just, like, automatically cleanse it.
I think it's a decent, like, muscle memory to have, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes this ends up happening where it's like, oh, I got hit by CC cleanse, and then it's like, you know, this happens.
Saking solidnya kemarin sepakat gak ada yang nge-kill. Game 1. Game 1 apa game 2 itu yang no kill. Kompak banget, gak ada yang mau nge-kill. Tidak saling mendahului. Keren.
Kino does have a level advantage somehow, and now a CS lead that is quite decent.
They've actually been in great form. It's just really good to see. And you know, he's always been a bit of a monster in solo queue, but it's been a struggle to replicate that in competitive to the same level. But it's been such a great start to the season, and continuing that in this matchup. I know we obviously have 3 deaths, but
damage sakit banget gue. Oke, gas bang, colok palanya Ruler bang. Suruh dia bayar pajak. Nice. Nice. Habis ini Ruler langsung ke Dirjen Pajak melunasi pajaknya.
Dodge away from it and just sticking to Ruler like
nice.
Aiming those sums, no problem. Don't need them if they're the ones going aggressive on the enemy AD carry and finding all the angles.
And that was an all-in with this, you know, smoke and mirrors poke style composition.
Fraud is
when is fed, it doesn't matter. This Xin Zhao is just the front line.
Mereka lebih lebah dari G2. Ya seginilah kekuatan Genji ya. Kroco aja kroco.
My God.
Literally got stomped by G2.
I mean, because
this fraud
as a duo played that so well to set that play up.
Wow, who would have thought?
Yeah, wow.
We've never mentioned it before, but still working very, very well together.
Sometimes the classics they just work.
Yeah, they're classics for a reason. And right now, looking absolutely fantastic here, as even Effort has a 1,000 gold lead. Largest lead in the game here is for aiming though, as is Ezreal about to hit that 2-item spike that we talk about all the time. I know a lot of you are probably frustrated about it, but it is important.
Genji is a fraud, bro. Stok Genji akan menurun tahun ini.
Looking for Soul Point in 4 minutes time after managing to take down both turrets in the mid lane, as I hear Wolf somewhere saying that's the Zoe turret, and they did manage to take that and its friend in the mid lane, which feels very, very good for map control for a composition like this. Having map control as a poke comp is paramount, and they have it. Aiming does manage to get that item spike that we were talking about as well.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming up, KT. They're in a great spot right now. Also, if they end up getting
Ruler kali lagi banyak pikiran kali ya. Ruler AFK banget si match ini.
This composition from Genji, it's not an issue if you're ahead, right?
Ultinya, mana ultinya?
But it will start to feel like a lax damage if you fall behind.
Tahun ini di NS, gila kalau misalkan Peter masuk final lagi, keren sih. Redemption. Dokdam sama Peter. Tapi masalahnya championnya Piosi ketahuan sih. Nafiri pasti dipermaben itu. Kalau playoff. Sumpah, KDA-nya Piosi kalau main Nafiri gak pernah di bawah 10, cok. Edan gak tuh si Piosi. Tiap main Nafiri KDA-nya pasti di atas 10. Minimal triple kill lah tiap game.
And like, it's not even necessarily range, it's just being able to move around everywhere they want to all the time. Zoe and Ezreal, this has been
bayangkan didatengin orang pajak hampir masuk penjara, siapa yang gak stres? Iya sih, wajar sih. Kasihan juga ya, lagi banyak pikiran kali. Mana di Korea mah kan ketat banget kan, gak kayak di negara itu tuh yang apa? Yang jualan rendang.
Exactly right, just be good and it'll work out. That's precisely what KT are doing. They also have Cuz, who is an incredibly dangerous Xin Zhao right now, and that allows this Ezreal and Zoe combination to just run amok. Yeah, they always know that they have that defense.
We actually see Genji have put Canyon and Chovy in the side lane.
No. How did he get over there as Ruler takes the battle star? That's the dash cannon going to connect as well, but isn't going to do too much more. Still, it just provides enough space to take his inner turret now.
rupiah.
You've got Perfect
Tolol,
getting
itu
engaged
sangat
on
bodoh
by
sekali.
Canyon the Flash, but the Fear still connects, and so Perfect is very, very dead.
Buset, kena
Chovy
roket
collects
mati.
it there with a dash cannon of his own. And Genji are able to at least get a punish to stop some of this tempo that KT have put together.
I just feel like they lost so much prior to that. Like Chovy and Canyon went top, and we're like, let's try and find someone here. But KT were playing through mid bot.
My goodness.
These bubbles are so frustrating. It's
Bisa bikin stres
I know
itu.
you've lost so many structures. You know, you lost
Cece
your
Zoe.
mid tier 2, your bot tier 2. It's really difficult to walk up.
Harga mie ayam berapa deh kalau boleh tahu? Di tempatku 10.000.
So these bubbles are.
I guess Seraphine wants to build lots of items, doesn't she?
Yeah, we have sometimes seen, like, I mean, the core is the Echozohelia and the
Kecil tapi.
diadem, the tier item, but we have seen them sometimes delay it to get the Mikhails.
Wouldn't mind to see it as Chovy goes between the worlds. BDD just trying to get out.
Buset, gak ada yang kena skillnya.
In order to do so, really nicely done as Aiming and Rule are fighting one another. Aiming, realizing that Duro was on the way.
BDD, fancy footstep,
now
man.
moving on forward. Beach Ball going to go entirely wide. As there's
Oh
the
tidak! Ada flash, ada flash, ada flash, ada flash. Tidak, flash ke situ. Oh shit! Oh no.
He's flashing away as well. The all out comes in. He gets a
Kok dia nge-flash ke situ ya? Oke, hajar King, pukulin. Nice.
Arrives and KT look to convert it into this the mountain soul point.
And KG just all there to cover their mid laner. BDD does go down, but the response is swift, and Genji just look out of sorts. You know, Canyon flashing into the wall. Chovy getting caught by the bubble on the back end.
And BDD just should have died way sooner than that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing, he picks up the flash here. So they're like, okay, he's going to flash over the wall. Canyon wants to follow him, but just face plants.
Yeah.
And then he survives for such a long time, and then just as he's about to go down, he gets to sleep onto Chovy. So it's a
Aduh,
1-for-1,
Genji.
and all of KT
Genji
are
bangun,
moving down
Genji.
to
Belum
spawn.
world play.
King goes down too.
World belum mulai.
Getting another kill as well.
JJ is literally asleep, man.
1.6k ahead.
And this one has Mikhails. You know, this support does. I think it is Duro is going for himself, but having that already in pocket, it means things like the Ash Arrow, the ult for the Seraphine, just so much less threatening.
Yeah, and it's not even on Duro, right? He's 1.6k behind. Like, he just can't afford it.
Golden supports can be very useful.
Yeah. And so far, Effort has turned it into a bunch of value as KT with control of this river. Genji did manage to get their red buff. There's at least that. Ruler goes over and collects it. But, I mean, when this comp gets a Mountain Soul as well, like, that was the thing that they were lacking, was a front line. It's not really going to be an issue when Cuz has an extra shield as well as Effort's shield. Like, he will be a bigger tank than Keen.
Now KT just trying to set up around the Baron, choke off Genji from approaching. They are looking towards the mid tower here.
Besok BTW T1 lawan Hanwha live tuh. Tapi kayaknya aku kagak nonton, aku mau nonton LCP. Aku nonton tapi gak di Ganobar. Besok kita Ganobar T1. Oh, comeback aja Ji. Iya kayaknya comeback.
Takes him out of the fight, and Kane is going to be able to lock down the second kill. 2-0 in favor of Genji.
Hey, bentar, BDD.
And now they may not even be done yet. The bubble is going to connect though onto this
sakit
Cassandra.
nyo.
Almost just explodes immediately afterwards. Still going to survive as KT still with a fair bit of damage left available, but without the utility, it's going to be really difficult to stop Genji. Yeah, he did.
Ya, bisa tuh. Enak tuh ada Jess. Bisa cu, ada Jess cu. Oh, bisa men, bisa.
Could be devastating. Keen teleports just to get
Aduh,
that
Keen ada
shield and
TP
get back into the
buat
fight.
shield doang.
And it should mean that KT are going to get out of there. But the True Shot Barrage does a fair bit of work.
Ratakan! KT! Oh, BDD! Oh my god, itu dia mid laner top 3 terkuat di dunia, damn bro! Holy shit! The fuck was that?
Trapped inside the pit and Aiming gonna take him down.
Wah, kacau. Agak sedeng ini BDD, gelo.
To the skies goes Perfect, and Effort says that's a third one for me, baby.
And just when you think Genji have found the comeback, they take down the support, they take down the jungle. It's BD. Oh, BD in trouble.
Yeah, catches this.
Never mind.
Apa sih Chovy? Apa sih Chovy?
And Effort gonna be able to lock down that kill as well.
Apa sih Chovy anjir? Nge-lag lagi. What the heck is Chovy doing?
From Perfect as he takes out Ruler, and Duro gonna follow suit as he presses W, and down goes the Seraphine. This should be the end of the game as KT 3-0 in the LCK for 2026 when they faced off against T1 first, and now Gen G. Paranoia gonna be used, but it's just gonna switch off the lights like a kid having fun.
Yeah.
And KT will deal with these
Dan
Nexus
lagi sih
turrets
kayaknya.
and take us to game number 2 with
Alamak.
match point. This KT is
Emang iya sih kalau lawan Seraphine memang nggak boleh ada frontline, bagusnya kayak gini cok. Emang frontline-nya nggak boleh banyak-banyak. Draft pick-nya mantep sih.
But it's a convincing win, and I think across the board, you know, Perfect has been in such good form.
Dapat Ezreal, Karma, ada Zoe, Jace. Counternya Seraphine ngepick 4 champion pok.
And the sleepy.
You know what the worst part is? He's playing Zoe, so he literally skips in and steals the Baron and then skips away.
The thing, I feel like we've seen other games of Zoe, and it just doesn't work the same.
No.
It's
KT just so lihat damage BDD bro.
More sleepy trouble bubbles is more for thread. It's such a suffocating pick.
KDA-nya boleh biasa aja, tapi damage-nya men di atas Jace.
I will win. I will carry, and he definitely did so.
Shit.
And this is obviously a practice composition as well, right? We've seen comps like this so many times.
Literally trouble bubble for real.
The Ezreal Karma, they're like, oh, it's time. We can make this poke comp work. We can utilize
Menurutmu besok T1 menang nggak?
Splitting the jungle as well was absolutely
Kayaknya ya.
right?
Kayaknya T1 kalah lagi sih.
Lead in the bottom side of the map. I think from the beginning to the end, it was beautifully played from KT. We'll see whether they can do it again as we head towards game number 2. Thankfully, it's a best of 3, so Gen G has a chance to.
Secara statistika ya kalah lagi si T1 besok. Maaf ini mah. Ini T1 jadi KT kah? Tukeran. Bagaimana ini bisa terjadi? Aku cukup prediksi ini sih. I kinda know KT gonna win. Aku entah berapa aku merasa KT emang bakal menang deh. Dilihat dari cara mainnya Genji yang template banget, terlalu template. Tapi tetap kuat sih Genji. Mungkin abis ini menang. Cuma main mereka template banget gitu. Jadi orang kayaknya udah belajar deh. Nah, lag bacok. Welcome ya.
한테 녹턴 노플. 얘들아 포킹해봐 계속 길게. 슬슬 들어가는 거 어때? 나 오로라 볼 수 있고. 오로라 볼래 얘들아 오로라 보자.
먹었다.
아래쪽 오로라 노플. 천천히 보자 산테 노플.
What happened with Genji? I don't know bro. Anything can happen di matchnya KT mah. Apapun bisa terjadi.
보자. 와봐. 우상형 가보던지. 나 미칼 되는데.
Mau bilang Genji downfall tapi Genji gak pernah.
갈게요. 어딜래 이거?
Genji itu selalu runner up.
야, 탑 인사 갈게. 미드 가면 끝날 것 같아.
Genji is always strong until they not. Ruler agak AFK sih bener. Masalah pribadi ya sudahlah. Emang sulit, namanya manusia. Namanya juga human, guys. Human. Bentar, League of Legends ada update. Ada ruler aja masih kalah Jitu sama Jitu. Kayaknya ada yang nggak ada ruler sama aja. Tapi emang ruler lawan Jitu hampir gak pernah menang sih. Entah kenapa kayak terkutuk sih ruler kalau lawan Jitu. Di tim manapun ruler ketemu Jitu kalah. Sering kalah. Kayak bro emang terkutuk. Emang kryptonite nih Jitu, kryptonite ruler. So besok Tion menang, semoga ya. Ada masalah internal kah ini Genji? Ruler kena kasus tax evasion, tapi udah klarifikasi sih, katanya ya namanya juga gamer kan ya, mana ada gamer ngurusin pajak, ya pasti sibuk main game kan. Nah yang ngurusin duitnya orang tuanya, tapi kayaknya ada masalah tuh jadinya kena kasus. Si ruralnya mah gak tahu kali, yang ngatur duitnya kan ortunya. Gamers mana ada ngurusin pajak, mending push rank. Beli melah. Itu orange shard udah habis aja deh. Bukan ini akun yang smurf yang Jepang. BTW ntar aku ada collab ya hari Selasa. Hari Selasa aku main sama VTuber Jepang, main LOL tanggal 7. Mungkin ada yang tertarik melihat aku mabar sama teman-teman Jepangku.
My heart and soul always for the must.
Soraka di band. Hah, Garen lucu banget anjir. This Garen so cute lah. Tahun-tahun lokal kapan deh? Waktu itu kan pernah main sama temennya Bang Nardi. Teman-teman Indo mah pada kagak main League of Legends. Teman-temanku yang main LoL rata-rata orang Jepang. Yang orang Indo yang main LoL dikit aja. Kalau temen Jepangku pada main LoL rata-rata. Kebanyakan wild trip ya? Iya, rata-rata pada mainnya wild trip. Selasa malam lah. Kita rencananya sih Selasa malam ada sesi mabar dengan anime. Rollmu apa, Serdilik? Aku juga tidak tahu rollku apa. Gimana takdir menentukan aja. Gimana takdir menentukan rollku.
welcome to the space. We are here. I am Valdez. I've got Wadid and Umpty with me, the two Korean pro gamers. How are you guys doing today after that wonderful KT victory in Game 1?
I don't know, it feels like almost Korean LSS, but yeah, I'm glad to be here. I mean, again, KT, it was not a luck. They're winning against Genji. They just won against Sion as well. They're actually playing so good. I think the game-wise, I think in-game-wise, I think it was really, really hard to execute it in terms of the draft, but I really like it.
I agree, because the first playing with Joe is real powerful. I think the slowest tempo jungler, which is Sinzal,
Magic Crisis.
But they play quite
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say,
We need Magic Crisis.
May as well cast a line if you've got a sec.
Amumu ini merasakan, bro. Buset. Angin puting beliung. Astagfirullah. Tolong. Kita kenapa punya 2 enchanter ya, BTW? Cok. Gak ada debek lah. Why do we have 2 enchanter, brother? Excuse me. This is too much, too much. Hardstyle gak sih? Ya Garena lucu banget, palanya penguin. Aku adalah penguin. Caranya gini guys, caranya gini guys. Demasia. Woi, bantu woi. Topok. Au. Nice. Wih gila, triple kill langsung. Itu my engage. Literally my engage, bro. Akhirnya my justice is here. Saatnya justice. Enggak nyampe. Justice-nya tidak tersampaikan. My justice is not prevail. Kocak, kocak. Jadi bagaimana cara kita defend, Bung? Ultinya tolong dipakai, Malphite Con. Nice sekali, nice sekali. Sekarat gua. Yang di heal tuh gua gitu ya. Bang Malphite kapan multi ya bang? Multi boleh kali bang, N-Cake. Aku udah sekarat banget ini. Literally cannot lah. Nice, nice dong. Mana ulti gua? Kagak keluar. Real, dari tadi aku pencet anjir. Kena tendang apa tadi? Where is my ult lah?
All those mid laners, he picked Zoe, he carried and stole Baron. So
11 HP by the way. Having a look at the highlights there. Oh,
and like
goodness.
100% credit to BDD for that. But also, when there's no other jungler, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. The smite that you steal as Zoe is not quite as strong.
I did just do some quick looking up. I haven't fully cross-referenced this, but they did lose their first match of the season in 2020 summer. So it might have been that long, because their records are like insane every time since then. I checked some of the other ones. That might have been the last time they lost their first
Did they play the opening match against DK that year?
It was actually against DRX.
Well, there you go. DRX in 2020 were a pretty different looking team, though, if I remember correctly.
Duro itu championnya Duro.
Again, I haven't fully checked it out, but from what I looked at briefly, that might have been the last time. If they lose today, if they're one game away from it, if they lose today, it might have been 6 years since they last dropped the first game of the season.
All right, but I've got another side of it, right?
Okay.
If they lose today, right, every single time where they've won over the last 6 years, they lost Worlds.
Wow.
So maybe starting off with a loss.
Anivia emang lagi OP banget sih.
I have no idea.
Tapi kalau misalkan Vice-nya kagak di-ban, pas diambil sama KT,
we might get our first 3-game series of the season.
Pantheon Open, Rise Open, Azir Open.
Azir Open. And the Rise is going to be snapped up
Iya, pasti
immediately
diambil
here
sama
from
BDD.
BDD.
Rise-nya kalau misalkan gak di-ban sama KT
has
mah.
been picked.
Sama Genji mah.
In every series that he's been allowed to be picked and been open,
Pantheon
hasn't won a game yet. Pantheon, very good. We're big Pantheon fans. So Pantheon has won every game so far.
I wonder what this means for Cuz, because there's quite a few junglers that are now sort of taken away, what with Fearless and with that Jarvan ban.
Also the fact that they got the Anivia ban, which is now like the double impact, because you can't play the Anivia mid, but also Anivia support's been a problem.
Yes.
Sometimes for the team playing it, sometimes for the other team.
Yeah, it wasn't a problem for KT, let's just say that.
Yeah, but the sort of double impact of that ban, there is still the Cassiopeia as an option for Chovy, but we've seen that counter be kind of not always the most impactful. Looks like Cuz is eyeing up the Wukong, although actually they're going to grab the Sivir first and foremost. So we've seen so often Sivir into Varus. You can match the wave clear, you can just spell shield the poke, really stable lane. Also pretty good in the Pantheon in general. If you can dodge any part of his combo, whether it's a stun or a big spear when you're low HP, can make a big difference.
Ooh, Effort Bard.
Counter-Rise sejauh ini cuma Anivia yang ada
Effort has
impact.
been playing Bard for a very long time. This is one of the champs that he quite liked back in the
Cassiopeia
day.
juga bagus.
So not securing a jungler in this rotation for KT. I guess maybe thinking, look, we don't get Pantheon. We're fine. There's a lot of junglers still open. There is still like the...
Do you know what I really appreciate? I'd already written down Vi, but then they picked Sivir.
Yeah.
Tapi Anivia sekarang lagi metanya di support
I
sih.
mean, there's Vi open, there's Wukong open. There's still options
Lagi sering
available
dipakai
that they
juga.
can lean on.
And Cuz has a pretty wide champion pool as well. I think he's happy to play a whole bunch of different things. His Mundo is something that he's always really enjoyed. There's a lot of bans that they're going to have to throw out if they really want to make sure that Cuz isn't comfortable in this game.
So we get the Azir Ryze matchup. Honestly, something we haven't actually seen that much. Both picks have been very popular, but not really facing off against each other.
Yeah, I do feel like this should be an okay matchup for the Azir, just due to the range advantage that you would have. But Ryze is Ryze, right? Like
KT edisinya aiming aja bisa ngalahin T1 sama Genji, apalagi kita edisinya dia.
And get advantages that way. As the Alistar going to be banned away here as well.
Kita.
Not allowing Duro to have the cow. Although I don't know whether you'd really want to play Alistar into Siva Bard.
Yeah, maybe
menurutku Nivea SP oke kalau SP lawannya melee.
Obviously you can match the range.
Generally emang lagi sering dipakai sih.
Has that engage potential. Ambessa, we saw some Ryze Ambessa, obviously the point and click CC to set up the public execution, but also, I mean, it functions as a flex, but probably expecting it in the jungle. Does mean that Wukong that was hovered earlier is still potentially available if they want to get their hands on it.
Yeah, we'll see whether that is going to be a choice. Feels a little bit like a slow starter here for KT.
Yeah, especially Wukong into Pantheon. Pantheon can do so much early.
Well, Rakan going to be taken away here, denying a fair bit of engage, KT. That seems to be what they're worried about. But that Nico that you were talking about, still up and available if they would like to go that direction. Would give them a fair bit of control in the lane as well. Wouldn't mind seeing it out of Duro. And they are going to at least hover it for now, and there is the lock.
Yeah, so Nico did get that nerf that meant her W cooldown starts when her cooldown expires. So definitely was a bit of a hit, but still so much threat. Can build Rocket Bell and should build Rocket Bell. I think that's the key thing we're hitting on.
Effort, that's not Nasus. Wait, Effort. Where's the...
Kayaknya mending Jarvan deh, Bang.
Oh my god, he didn't hover Nasus.
Jungle.
He hovered Teemo instead?
What is the world coming to?
I have no idea. I don't even know what it means.
So,
I'm trying to decipher it.
Cuz going for the Aatrox, you know, a pick that we were talking about slow starters, not the best early ganker. And also playing into the likes of Varus, Azir, might well...
That's a Jhin. Keen is playing Varus top.
Into
they have been infected by the LEC.
Yeah.
They're like, the LEC is the best right now. What have they been doing? What is some of the tech that they've been up to?
This is honestly a pretty smart flex, because you got to shift the Varus away from the Sivir matchup, where, you know, Sivir's picked into Varus as a neutralizer. There should be a better time for the Jhin Nico. It's a pretty good matchup for them. I mean, the Sivir's, it's not going to be terrible, but you also get a range top into Renekton. This is not going to be a fun matchup for Perfect. And it's crazy that this is a time where I'm saying you need to keep Perfect down, but based on how he's been playing, yeah, you need to keep Perfect down.
I would agree.
You need to keep him down. He's been popping off.
You are picking Jhin into Bard. Doesn't feel fantastic.
Lagi sih, aku suka picknya
due to the
KT.
curtain call interaction with the
Tapi masalahnya Aatrox ya lawan Panther ya.
Though is there's not a ton of engage
Rotasinya
on the
kalah nggak
side
sih?
of KT. So if you're using
their engage is sprint at you.
Yeah, and then if you're using the bottle to stop the Jingle.
It's so good, actually.
If you're using the bottle to stop the Jingle, then you're not using it to engage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You kind of have a bit more limited tools in terms of that, so...
You're also not using it to disengage as well. I feel like the Bard ultimate is what separates good Bard players from the great ones.
Terakhir kali Chovy main Azir lawan KT, dia dibantai. Ya, terakhir kali aku melihat Chovy main Azir lawan BDD, dia dilempar dan tewas.
I have to hold my thought for the fan chance.
Okay.
But I do have to disagree with you a little bit. You said what separates the good bards from the bad bards is the ultimate. I've watched the great bards, sorry, is the ultimate. I've watched a lot of carrier. I've actually learned what separates the good from the great bards is how many sick Q flashes you can do in a game.
That's a good point.
That's what it's about.
I apologize.
We had a bit of a break.
Yeah, just obviously I'm slipping.
Literally top 5, top lane.
Taking a little bit of damage here as the ricochets are flying on forward. As Perfect, I think, is going to spend a lot of time lurking in the reeds. I know it's a brush, but he's a crocodile. You know, that's what they want to do.
Hey, that's a good place for him. He can just farm up the experience and not interact at all.
All right,
Cuz is going for an early invade. Question mark.
Well, Canyon is just going to run away from his Grump. got the info that this was happening on that ward next to the Raptors, and so Cuz just going to walk on in after taking his red. Does give him a lot of extra combat power, and so therefore going to be just given the Gromp.
Yeah, I think Canyon honestly, Cuz is a jungler who really likes to push and challenge and take these sort of windows where he sees an opportunity to invade, to mix things up. But I think Canyon is also just so good at reacting.
Yeah.
Quickly responding and just not missing a beat to move away. It is still an advantage for Cuz, don't get me wrong. But Canyon doesn't lose any more time than he has to.
Yep.
Irel juga, Irel lagi sering dipakai Irel.
Very good at throughout his career.
Irel is back.
All right. Perfect. Now time to finally pick up some farm. As Keen is going to make it as difficult as possible. First plate will be going over to the Varus already. And that is precisely what you want to be doing here in this matchup. Perfect does at least get himself the cannon. Is now BDD running towards Chovy. Flash quite early on in that exchange. Really feeling the pressure.
Has just been something else. He had that matchup into Faker where he was playing Ryze in the
Karena nggak bisa dipanis kayak dulu kayak karena lane quest.
I mean, Ryze is such a strong pick. Everyone has been popping up on Ryze, but BDD in particular seems like such a problem if he gets his hands on this pick, particularly just in lane. We all know Ryze is going to get Actualizer and just start one-shotting people, but if he's winning lane as well, he gets to that point a lot sooner.
True. And Keen going to press W and push Perfect out of the lane. At least he did manage to get a few CS, but you can see the Crocodile is having a tough time. Cuz full health here. Going to be spotted by Canyon, but I don't know whether the Pantheon is going to be happy taking this particular battle, and he is just going to walk away from the Rift Scuttler. There is another one towards the southern side of the map, so he should be able to just go over and collect that one. You can see pings out from Cuz, knows that that's where he's heading, and Effort is actually going to look on trying to disrupt what's going on here. Baylight does come on through. All right. I do really like the Bard sounds. How do you feel about the Bard sounds?
I like the Bard sounds.
I'm a big fan.
Ya, harus digeng early pokoknya range top lah.
Doesn't have teleport, remember? Won't have that until the quest is completed. He does have to use the flash to get out of the way. So it's going to take a while, although I guess Home Guard and stuff like that should.
The wave's just not a good spot though for him. Basically what happened is Keen started to move towards the river to try and help the Scuttle Crab, and Perfect managed to catch the wave and hold it in that comfortable spot.
Lane quest mah kagak ngaruh, tinggal digeng aja top lane-nya, top lane range mah.
Because BDD is going to hit 6 in not too much time. I know why I'd be realm whooping.
Kata owner mah biarin aja sampai jadi.
This is the first top Varus that we've had here in the LCK. Obviously, around the world, it has been a little bit more popular.
We've been protected from it, which I've been happy about.
Keen, though, trying to get some redemption from the last time he played an AD carry in the top lane, though. Let's see whether they can find some success. So far, it is working out quite well outside of the fact that he did have to blow that flash relatively early. He should still have a lot of control in this lane to really frustrate Perfect, who has elected to go towards a early Merc Treads by the looks of things. Doesn't want to get CC'd too much. And it's kind of awkward just buying items into an on-hit Varus just because he does so much of all of the different damage. I guess now it's more magic with the way the build has evolved.
Yeah.
But it's just really annoying.
Lagian kalau misalkan swap lane juga sama aja kocak. Misalkan Renekton ke bawah. Ketemu Jin anjir.
It's like, yeah, he's doing a good amount of magic damage, but also you're getting hit by a lot of physical.
Yeah, he just hits me over and over again.
Yeah, and then if anything, you're getting hit by more
Walaupun
physical
kagak ada lane quest juga, kalau misalkan swap ke bawah ketemu Jin anjir sama aja.
Yep.
Good amount.
Nah, gak ada flash.
Slice and dice and Perfect is going to throw down the Dominus. Stun does come on through there as the exhaust is now being used up. Let's see whether he can hold on to this position. Gets that Fury back, but Cold Meat comes through and Cuz just here a little bit too late. That is first blood and a solo kill for Keen. He doesn't have the flash available though, so he will be going down, and Cuz is going to lock up that one.
Bang, lek bang.
So KT immediately answering back, but still a great kill here for Keen, who really wants to stay ahead in this lane.
This is the frustrating thing about playing into this Varus, because you would think, right, no flash, Renekton gets on top of him, but he has exhaust, right? And the power of the ultimate, just the stacking of the Blight doing so much damage, lethal tempo as well in the extended trade.
Oh, Canyon paying BDD a visit here, who does just put Chovy in prison and then wander away. Phase Rush working out quite nicely here, as he should be able to run back towards the mid lane as well. Cosmic Binding utilizing the Scuttle Crab.
Masih jadi official streamer
Remember
LCK
they
nggak
nerfed
kayak?
Phase Rush?
Masih.
No, me
Makanya
neither.
besok aku kagak nobar T1 ya. Besok aku mau
Effort
nonton
doesn't have magical
DFM.
journey anymore. Is now Duro looking for the angle flash
Oh,
from
effort
Effort to get
flash.
him out of that one. That snare could have proved his death, especially if the Blooming
Besok
Burst was
saya
up
mau
and
nonton
available.
DFM.
So does have to use everything in order to escape.
BTW di DFM ada Fisher
Alright.
Yeah, so
dari
actually
Nongsim.
ends up
Ada
getting
mid
exhaust
lanernya
down and just
Nongsim di
buying so
LCP
much time
besok.
with it. And once Lethal
Kinda
Tempo is
hype,
stacked
I
up,
wanna see
Pivot
that.
just kind of runs out of damage and flashes in a straight line. Is the
Mahal
unfortunate thing.
kali
So
bisa
piercing
dapat
Q just
Fisher
kind
ya.
of, pierces both where
Mid
he
lane mahal
was
tuh.
and where he ends up.
Yeah.
A little bit panicked, I feel like, from Perfect there. If he'd flashed a bit
Bisa
better.
dapat mid
He could
laner
have
LCK.
also like done the weird
Hong
flash
Soo main
up
nggak besok?
into the other brush.
Harusnya sih
for the
masih main
juke.
ya.
I think
Kan
that's
We have to
Yeah.
play. As
Very dead.
enggak deh, bukan besok Hong Soo mah.
If at first you don't
DCG mah
succeed with just
lusa,
one
Bang.
person, bring all of your friends. And so BDD probably going to get gifted this kill as well as Keen almost able to take down Cuz here.
Buset, hampir
my.
solo kill Kin.
If Cuz had died there, it would have been catastrophic for KT.
So close. You get a cooldown reset when you proc the Blight stack, so managed to get another rotation through. And such a close one, and especially consider the fact he didn't have flash, didn't have exhaust. That was just him and his ult. And also, I wanna point something out. Look at his items.
Yeah.
He didn't have the dagger, by the way. He had plated steel caps and a
Kin mau main
No.
itu.
No,
he
he just
just
had
had
a
a ruby
ruby
crystal?
crystal.
Attack speed
Yes.
parus.
Oh God.
That's all he needs.
Well, I'm a
Hari
bit
Minggu
frightened for when he
nonton
gets
Dogo apa
some
Hongki?
real items. It's going to be problematic.
Perfect. I do like the use of the realm ult, though.
Dogo
This is
sih.
definitely what you should be doing. The flashes down
Aku
is good
bukan
timing.
co-streamer LPL, jadi kita
Taking
nonton
it
Dogo
even
lah.
the flash was unavailable.
It didn't really cost BDD that much either. You can see he's still within touching distance of the CS margins. Chovy
Tapi
did
menang
get a
SSG
plate
dah
in the mid
kataku
lane,
mah.
but that is about it. So we're going to have a look at it one more time. Cousin BDD making
Dogo
their way up
tanpa
to the top
Junjia
lane.
bisa
Yeah, the
apa?
angle's just great to cut off Keen, but also Duras is not able to get there in time. So gets the
Down
ult
and
down,
down, gak sih itu?
piercing arrow with a bit of
Yeah, attack
charge, and then because he pops the blight, he actually gets another piercing arrow.
Attack speed
man.
parus.
Very close, very dangerous.
Yeah, that Chains of Corruption can be a real problem to KT in this game. As Effort going to have to magically journey his way out. And Canyon over here starting us off for the first dragon of the game. Going to be a Chemtech once again. It's kind of
Happy
interesting.
Parus
Back-to-back same
kan
first
kalau
dragon.
toh
Will it be Chemtech Ocean?
AP Parus sama Attack Speed Parus build-nya mirip-mirip sih, pasti ada
But,
Rift Maker-nya, pasti ada Nashor Tooth kalau nggak DND kan.
And it is!
Oh, okay. So
Oh
good
my
souls back to back.
goodness. This is like, you know, like there's all those weird things where people are saying like they bought Riftbound boxes and like all the boxes are the same. Like they bought one box and then the next box has the same cards in it in the same order. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, do you remember when someone was like, "Oh yeah, actually, Chemtech souls are more common," and then it actually was.
Yeah, I mean it was because of you, Ox. As we know.
yeah.
Thankfully, you have seen the error of your ways.
My bad.
And we are now just getting Chemtech Drakes first every single time. I don't think anyone's really complaining. Chains of Corruption going to connect here on to Perfect. It takes
sakit yo.
just a little bit
Shit.
too much damage. As Keen happy to tank up the turret just to get that extra auto off. And Perfect does have teleport, so he can make his way
Cuma
back
udah
here. But
di-game
man, it
juga.
is just not a whole lot of
Emang
fun.
top lane, range top lane ini
Some
memang
of you
haram
watching
anjir.
may feel sorry for Perfect. I want to remind you, he
Sepertinya
played
kita harus
Vayne top in his last
normalisasi.
series into Cassante, so no, don't feel any remorse.
Nope.
You know, as much as he's definitely not having a fun time,
Darius
and
gitu
this
sih.
matchup is horrible.
Darius juga kalah sama range
You're
aja.
saying he deserves it.
Kind of, it's karma.
Yeah.
Apa yang enak di top lane lawan
Although
range?
she's fearless band.
True.
Still.
He did also play Jace last game, so
Do you think that Perfect is dead?
do you think that's a normal minion?
It's
that's
behaving
sus.
quite oddly.
That's
As
minion
Perfect
is a bit
slices, gets out of the way of the
sus.
snare, but hail of arrows. I think the dominance wasn't entirely
Gila,
necessary,
Ruler
but I
ditinggal,
do
Cok.
like that he procced it anyway to make sure he didn't die. Speaking of dying, I think that Ruler might be in a bit of trouble here, although what tries
what
to
the
flash
fuck?
out of the way of a turret shot here to Zephyr.
Geng macam
Not
apa
entirely
itu?
sure about that one, as now Cuz
Alah.
with the World Ender procced. I don't
Alah.
know whether he's going to be
Alah.
dead just yet,
Ow.
but the
Ay.
curtain call comes in. He flashes into it, the deadly blow, the flash from Canyon. Beautiful. beautifully played. You've seen the player cam there as well. Pretty happy with how that one went, as now BDD in trouble. Realm Warp not going to work out here. And Duro going to turn up and help Chovy grab the kill. Gen G just spring to life here in 11 minutes.
They just wake up. You know, on the cusp of Gen G losing their 5th game in a row, which is honestly kind of unprecedented with the form that we've seen from them the past few years. They come alive, and
Assassin
I will say,
lebih susah
a little bit of
lagi
help
sih
from
landingnya
Effort,
lawan
who had a
range
bit of an
mah.
oopsie, but
I want to say, Ruler played that so incredibly well.
yeah, read the
kayaknya
flash from Cuz.
Orn sih paling enak
Just
main
beautifully
range
played.
top lane.
Just hitting everything.
Lawan
Speaking
range
of
top lane.
which, Effort once again in a rough
Mati
position.
lagi,
Will be
cowok.
taken down. No reloading for this guy. Just going to be landing that fourth shot. Take out the Bard. And Effort not exactly having the greatest of times here in this game.
No, he is not. Struggling a little bit right now. 2,000 gold lead already for Gen G. And we'll see a replay here.
Oh iya, Urgot. Urgot lama farmingnya anjir.
Yeah, Effort's, he's tanking.
Kalau
It's like,
turnamen
okay,
pasti makanya championnya yang
I'll flash
cepat
the tower shot.
early-nya kuat.
Doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
Urgot
Sad.
And then here, I
kelamaan.
think the main thing was when the ult comes out from
Dibully
Ruler.
early-nya, Cok.
So it's this next shot reads the flash so well.
Yeah, reads the flash and then hits max range deadly
Kamu kalau
flourish.
jadi jungle kesel gak kayak kalau dapat mid kayak Chovy?
I can imagine. I understand why Canyon was
Nanya.
reacting like that.
Chovy
It was
mah
bad
jago
here in the mid lane
anjir,
as well,
mid.
just to
Senang lah.
make sure that BDD was killed by Duro.
Yeah, Duro getting in range, making sure there was no way BDD could realm warp away from that one.
And
Chovy
pretty
itu
excellently played here in this little interim
ibaratnya
of time
enemy
for
team
Gen
mid
G.
laner.
KT certainly still have tools
Meanwhile, mid
to win
laner
fights
gua
later
mah
on, and
biasanya-
they're not massively far behind. But
Ya.
2,000, when you have this composition that can really
Fikla lah
run you
ya.
over, if it does get out of hand, it is starting to get out of
My
hand.
mid laner biasanya
And with a Pantheon,
Fikla.
it's such a good win
Kalau
more champion,
enggak,
right?
Flaggy.
And it's Canyon playing it as well. We know that he can certainly pilot it to a
It has
victory.
just been winning, and I was wondering, you know, which is going to be more powerful? The fact that, you know, so far Pantheon's undefeated, Azir's only lost, seeming like the Pantheon more powerful.
At this point in time,
Bulldog bagus aja
is
kalau main di
absolutely
Cina,
what it's
kesel
looking
banget gua.
As Keen here, still yet to
Bulldog
complete a
mainnya
full
jago
item
kocak pas di
as of
Cina.
yet.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
be
get that.
grabbing the Dusk and Dawn
Yeah.
as he does go back home.
We'll get the super quick light stacks. This is
Oh,
the
udah
point
jadi
where I
dia,
think perfect. No, I was going to say stops having fun. He was never having fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when did he start? Oh, last game. Yeah, he was having fun.
I think retrospectively, right now, he's going to look back at the earlier points in lane and wish he was at them.
Itu prosesnya KT
He didn't
apa
realize
KT?
those were actually the good
KT lah,
times.
Yeah.
KT
Now
mah
it's the really bad times. Now it's like,
Indonesia
oh
itu
man,
makanya.
take me back.
Yeah. Well,
KT.
KT just hanging out here in this mid lane. 800 gold is the advantage here for Ruler. In fact, Gen G with leads all over the place. But it's his top lane that is the largest one in really making it work, as Deadly Flourish onto Cuz. Does get a bunch of his health back, but that's a decent Pop Blossom. Duro likely to get
Cuz
punished for
die.
it, but Cuz is already dead, and
Oh,
never mind,
tidak.
Duro survives.
Oh, Gen G is
Aiming
back.
is now just in
Oh,
no
Gen G
man's
is
land
back.
as the double kill comes in for Canyon, and Perfect just running away from the situation.
And I think that was the right call from Perfect, but Gen G just crushed
Males
KT
sih
in the
kalau misalkan
fight.
range top lane
But he
udah
felt like
meta
there
lagi
wasn't much
kayak gini.
resistance, and now 4,000 gold lead. They get their second dragon. Should be a very strong soul. Pretty much guaranteed.
Yep. BDD upgrades some shoes as he completes
Kita
the quest.
kembali ke
But
range top
Gen
lane
G with all of those
era.
completed. The
Mendok
fact that BDD
sih.
was so slow on that is kind of interesting. I guess spent a fair bit of time roaming. As we're going to have a look at this one more time. And Cuz just kind of missing all the cues.
Yeah, they check with him.
Tapi ya,
The ult from Rod
kenapa
comes
sih
in, but
kita
doesn't
demen
stop
banget ngelepas
Duro.
Pantheon buat Canyon
Cuz
gitu?
is down immediately, and they just turn on the aiming.
Tidakkah kita sudah belajar
Spell
sama
shield doesn't come
G2?
out. I think he just didn't
Canyon
expect
itu
Canyon to
kagak
jump
boleh
in. I think he
dikasih
was
Pantheon.
expecting him to go through the portal.
Why don't we
Waste his position.
learn?
Keen doesn't need help. Duro, this is mean. It's all right. Effort going to be roaming up here. as the
Bukankah kita
magical
sudah
journey brings
belajar
him over.
dari
Keen's
G2
underneath the
kalau
turret.
Canyon
Not
itu
sure
kagak
about
boleh
that one,
dikasih
but Canyon
Pantheon ya?
turns up, and down goes the crocodile. Effort is
Where are
just
the
dead, ladies and
lesson
gentlemen.
go?
That's going to be another one over to the jungler. 4-0-2 now for Canyon, feeling fantastic on the Pantheon.
Well, I think Keen appreciated the help. I think that's what we can definitely say about that one. Aiming, I was going to say dodges all the shots. He doesn't.
Untung
Notably.
gak ada kolektor aja.
Tank's the most important one in the end, and now has to back off.
Somewhat
Meantime, Canyon will just on the traps.
My goodness, yeah. BDD just it looks like he was trying to dodge a gangplank ultimate there momentarily.
Padahal kemarin udah ditutor sama Jitu loh, lawan Genji jangan lepas Pantheon.
He's been pretty quiet so far this
Malah
game.
dilepas
And
Cici.
we'll be racking up a bunch of extra money. Let's have a look at this one more time.
Yeah, he's like, I'll just kill the tower. Guys, help me kill the tower quickly.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
tanking tower. Okay,
Tower,
we're good.
yeah.
We're good. We're good.
And they did also help him kill the Croc.
Yeah, Keen's been having some tower-related mishaps this series. So,
Yeah.
that's been his main opponent, we'll say. Well, Perfect too, but
Effort's main opponent has been basically everything here in this
no.
game, as
Aura
Keen is going
farm.
to show up and demonstrate exactly my point. Oh dear. The Bard has not really been working out. 0-4-0 right now. As Chovy is on an inner turret, Slice and Dice gets perfect in
Chovy
amongst it.
merasa.
His aiming turns up as well.
Oh,
And
tumben.
the Emperor's Divide will just mean that
Tumben
he gets
Chovy is
away
not choking.
with no real worries at all.
he can just slide out, and KT put a lot of effort towards trying to make these picks happen.
See what you did there.
Just not.
All right, let's see whether they can actually get themselves a kill on a King. He
no
flashes to get himself
Buset,
out of the
di
way,
one-shot
but he
sama
actually
Pantheon.
wants to stay in the fight as he takes down Cuz. Perfect goes
I
in,
don't
and out
like
he will
this.
go via the
Why?
death chamber. Ruler just puts a fourth bullet into him.
Perfect.
And KT just cannot
Perfect
find
inting.
anything that works in this game.
It's just not happening. And honestly, I was going to say, right, they have a lot of wave clear, they can stall the game out. At this point, do you even want to? Maybe you just...
Yeah.
Maybe the wave clear is working against them. You want to go to game 3 a bit sooner rather than later because they are struggling.
They want more time to
Tidak,
theory
tidak.
craft
Dia
what
punya
they want
flash.
to do in the next
Oh,
game.
enggak.
As Curtain Colt going to be thrown out here, and aiming does not have spell shield. Let's see whether that full shot's
keren.
going to land. Effort going to tank it up.
You know what? I think one thing we always complain about is
What's
how
that?
big Bard's hitbox is.
Apakah
really
ini akan
chunky.
menjadi game
It
3
definitely
pertama di
helped out
LCK?
there, making sure
Certainly did. Honestly, he's been hit by a lot of things so far this game. He's really been making use of that large hitbox.
Yeah, happens again here, gets hit by the root, and then he's like, oh guys, I can,
Perasaan
gonna get
replay
out
yang
to
ini
save-
udah deh
Damn
tadi.
it.
he only got 100 gold for that. So, you know, at this point,
High value.
Was it worth
Should
the
have
throw?
taken a cannon. Oh, God. Well, Keen going to be able to get that
Gila,
snipe off
Pantheon.
there as well. And, yeah, perfect. Just slug to the noggin. And will be taken out by Ruler. 3-0-5 for the Jin. And Chovy with the dash cannon. He certainly was one of the first people to just build
he
dash
was the
cannon
one.
on absolutely everyone.
he's the one who's propagated it, you know. He was the Rod of Ages propagator, now he's selling Rocket Belt to everyone.
It's not. What's a rocket belt? It's a dash cannon.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I know that's what it's actually called. But dash cannon just feels fun to say.
Yeah,
Even though it's wrong, I'm going to keep doing it.
it's sometimes wrong to build it.
Yep, it's kind of my brand, saying things wrong. As a commentator, probably not a great thing for your brand, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. It's Cuz finding some cues here, but he's
kayaknya-
also going to find a whole bunch of damage.
Okay, nice ult
Tepid Fake going
effort,
to connect
but
onto only Chovy. That just buys him a little bit of time as KT are forced to back away. BDD
kalau
rotating
lawan
over, but
Genji
he's
tuh
on
merasa gitu
vision.
ya,
So is
kayak
perfect,
kita
in fact,
merasa
as
udah
there are just
mukul
traps
banget, tapi
everywhere
nyawa mereka
that he
kayak kagak
needs to
ngurang
deal
gitu
with.
loh.
And Chovy is
Sebel
going to
banget lihat
find
aja.
his Shuriman Brethren. Deals with
BDD's
that
here.
shield immediately. BDD is going to move over. Pop Blossom connects onto the rise, but now Duro could be in a little bit of trouble. That should be the trade back, but a 1-for-1 isn't necessarily working out here. As aiming
Nice.
is delivered to safety with the realm of has to flash
Oh,
as
Pantheon
Ruler's
tidak.
bullets are
Okay.
magnetized. And Canyon going to throw out the ulti, but isn't going to be able to find the Siva. As effort, backing there is not going to be safe. And Keen is just taking turrets into the bottom lane.
Okay, the fight didn't work at all for KT, but honestly, the fact only one person died there, it could have been way, way worse.
True.
They
A
are going to lose
1-for-1.
Dragon.
It's a 10,000 gold lead though.
Aduh,
Orbs.
Redektonku.
Well, actually, it's only
My
9,700.
Renekton.
Oh, my
9,600.
Udah
Oh,
gak
wow,
bisa
they're
main, udah late game cok.
9,500. You're exaggerating.
I
Renekton
really
kalau
was.
misalkan udah behind gini
we
ngapain ya?
gotta try and find some drama.
Wilteng.
You know, you gotta try and sell it
Wilteng juga
some way.
jelek aja.
I get
So
it.
yeah, KT
Playing
really
it up
rocketing back into this game. As you can see, 9.4k. As I was talking about it before, it's like 300 gold swing. Ludicrous work here from KT to get
Riven
back
lawan top
into this
range
one.
kuat gak sih?
13-3
Oh
though
iya,
is the
Riven
kill score.
bagus tuh.
3 Drakes is the big
Tapi
deal.
Riven
And Keen winning
pas
on an 80
itu
carry in the top
kalau
lane is
apa
another
team
one.
fight susah
As he
anjir
wants to
kalau
get
di
that
pro
monkey
play
off his
mah.
back. As Perfect
Pro
looking
player
to
udah
try
tahu
and
cara
hit
lawan
anyone
defense.
with a button, and
Also,
it's just really hard.
One of the problems with it being a Cloud Soul,
Lebih sering
KT's
dipakai di
strategy of
jungle.
engaging, as you said earlier,
The run at them strategy.
yeah, that's a bit harder to do when the enemy team runs faster.
All right, I got a counterpoint for you.
Hit me with it.
KT turn the game around, stack
Cloud
four
Dragons, yes, yes.
Cloud Drakes, and win the game.
You know what? I like it.
Are you on board?
Actually, I love it.
Well, we'll just have to see whether they can make that happen, because that 10,000 gold lead that we were talking about is creeping up.
Keep saying 10,000.
Paling
It's
aman sih kayaknya on sih lawan range mah.
It's going to potentially happen in the
Udah
future.
paling nyaman
That's all I'm saying.
pakai range,
In
lawan
fact,
range pakai
possibly
on.
even like now-ish. As never mind, it's going down again. It's all just a little bit
Yasuo
ping-pong and
mungkin
minion
ya,
waves at this
Yasuo
point
ya.
in time. We really do
Tapi
need
yang
to
jago Yasuo
see
di pro play
something.
cuma
there we
broken
go.
blade
There
gak
we
sih?
go. Get it. Yeah, 10,000.
Yang
See,
jago Yasuo
what did I tell you?
Never mind,
cuma
it's
cap
gone.
sama broken
Lost it.
blade
Oh, okay,
aja.
never mind. I wasn't telling you.
Di pro
I wasn't
play.
telling you anything. Nothing
Siapa
at all.
lagi?
Yeah.
We are still really far away from a 10,000 gold lead. Ruler does have his item number 3, Rapid Fire Cannon
ya,
has been
Garen
completed.
tuh.
It's not my favorite Jin
Apakah
build, but
sudah
I
saatnya
don't have very
Garen
many
meta
because I
lagi?
just don't really like Jin.
Not the most convincing gym build, but there's
benar
this beautiful
sekali.
thing about gym builds
Perks.
I've learned.
What's that?
Ayo
If you're
kagak
really
jago,
far
kocak
ahead, it
make
just doesn't
doang.
matter.
Yeah. And also, like, your 4th item is obviously the most important because you're Jin. As there's a flash in from Canyon. Aiming is really dead, ladies and gentlemen. Enduro is going to make sure that they can get even more. As Cuz should be all right here with that World Ender up and available, but Effort is just going to have to run himself away. It is a back out here from BDD, who's been pretty quiet so far this
he's
game.
looking.
He's now looking for an opportunity towards Keen.
Okay, BDD,
But
I see
yeah,
you.
this Varus can kind of stand his ground and do a whole bunch of work if given the opportunity. As now Genji, there is a little ward there, so I think KT knows what's going on. Is now Keen running after BDD. Let's see
Oh
whether
my
this
God,
one
BDD.
will be won by the Rise or by the Varus as he goes
Beri gua.
golden and BDD
Anjir, bro.
Keen
Gila, Kin.
outplays him.
Absolute cinema.
So clutch.
Kenapa kamu deket-deket
more
BDD?
fights. Exactly
Aduh.
right. Effort can have to magically
Udah
journey his
pasti
way
kalah
out. Perfect
damage,
is
Cok.
extraordinarily dead, but does take Canyon with him as Chovy gets on in there to take down Cuz. Effort not long for the world
Ditutor
either,
sama
as he needs another
Kinra.
Conquering Sands and does not have it.
Anjir.
As Effort will be able to escape. They take out the jungle, though. That might mean that KT, at least
Edan.
by, you know, a little bit of time. That
Iya,
aforementioned
kenapa
10,000 gold
dideketin dah?
lead, though, is creeping up
I
towards
don't
11.
know
Hasn't hit
lah. That
11
was
yet.
I confused,
I
bro.
will be clear.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at this 1v1. This was sick from Keen.
Yeah, so it's, you know, BDD has Flash. Flash is the ult, which is a big factor in the 1v1 against Varus. Look how
Kin masih
low
punya
Keen gets
flash,
immediately.
anjir.
Stasis
Malah
is, and then has the empowered Q, flashes, and
Entahlah,
goes down.
I don't know.
I don't HP.
Yeah, BDD.
I
wanted
don't know,
that one, but
BDD.
unfortunately,
That's kind of weird.
did not happen. Let's have a look at this fight as well that broke out at exactly the same time. Man, Perfect took like infinite damage very, very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they stopped the Baron, but they are very far behind in terms of gold. It is now 11,000.
Yeah.
There's Cloud Soul up in a minute 15. BDD is just hiding in brushes.
And Keen is also level 16 now. 2 levels up over Perfect. Really has turned this Crocodile into a handbag as they are on this Baron once again. Controller does go over the backside of the pit, so Effort does see what's going on. But there's a difference
Effort,
between seeing it and
Effort,
stopping it.
ulti,
Cuz in the area,
Ulti.
they should be able to get rid of some
Oke,
vision.
gak jadi.
There's that handbag we were
Ada
talking
Bart.
about. Perfect
Genji
making his
pintar
way up,
aja.
and it looks like Genji will be backing away for now. And BDD is
Genji
going to
no
get turned
balls.
on. Curtains have been called, but he gets into the fog of war and will be able to escape. 4th shot does come on down. 30 seconds on this Cloud Drake. That'll be Cloud Soul for Genji. And honestly, I mean, if it's not lights out already, that will be lights out for KT.
I think it's going to make it so much harder from that position. BDD is strong, by the way. He's level 16, has his core items. But,
Perfect going to be okay. Is
Aduh.
Effort gonna...
Effort.
Aduh, effort. Aduh, effort.
No.
Effort. Ah,
Tempered
ultinya
Fate
hilang.
for fun. And he's dead.
Aduh.
not the play we were looking for.
You know that
Aduh, effort. Itu suara siapa di belakang? Kayak keluargaku lagi
content
nonton
that we
TV.
saw, there was like, you were stuck on the other side during the content, and there was that one moment where you just had a whole bunch of question marks above your head.
Yes.
That's what my brain did.
Yeah.
Just then.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys want to know, it's on the LCK Global YouTube channel.
I don't think we need to see this again, but we're gonna
Yeah,
get to.
effort.
Why don't we replay this?
I don't know.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened
I don't know
before.
about that.
Yeah, that was it. That's what we were talking about. That means that Gen.G gets themselves the Cloud Soul.
You know what?
No.
He's putting the effort in, right? Better for him to go 1 and 5.
Oh my god.
Because if he goes 1 and 2, that means you stop trying.
True.
Right? He's
Effort
still
sedang
looking.
berusaha.
He's still looking for his angle.
Sesuai
Yeah, we
nama.
really are looking to the LEC for inspiration, aren't we?
Hey, we can't say anything bad about the LEC, right?
Aku
They
mulai
promote us.
curiga
We
Lord
can't.
Aiming
That's
ini
why
kayaknya one trick
a lot of
Ezreal deh
research is
aja.
now being done.
Sumpah.
Yeah, we did his
Kayaknya terbukti
presentation.
sekarang
What
sih.
did.
Lord Aiming itu
do
antara
that.
one trick Ezreal kalau enggak Yunara.
All right. Gen.G going to have another go at this Baron. Worked out pretty well last time, although they didn't manage to actually take the buff. And let's see whether KT can do anything to stop it.
He doesn't quite have Actualizer, which is really sad, but he's still very strong. Oh, cuz.
Yep.
Aduh, Kin.
And boom goes the dynamite here. As King will find him. Chovy the one to take down the kill. But now look at this AoE damage. My goodness. It's BDD on a flank angle, but I don't know whether it's really going to work out as King just goes.
Aduh, gelek bacot. Very lag,
Gold to
very
avoid
lag.
any trouble at all. And the Realm Warp does get BDD out of there, but the Baron goes over to Gen.G. It is all Gen.G all the time, is what it feels like here in this game number 2. As Perfect trying to get himself to safety, but Canyon just dives on top of him
Yeah,
and throws
next
a
game
spear
ini mah,
to the
next
back
game.
of his head.
Does a lot of damage. And Gen.G, you know,
Kayaknya
looking like a
Speed 2
full
Renekton
5v5. It was
udah
like
nggak
2 or
viable
3
sih.
people hitting KT while the rest of them did
Pasti kena
Baron.
counter sama range top lagi ini mah.
14,000 out of gold lead. Cloud's on
Pasti
pocket,
ada
Baron in
Vayne,
pocket.
pasti ada Varus di top
I
lane
think
sekarang.
for the first time this season, we might be going to a game 3.
Ada
We might be.
Jace.
KT going to be losing their first game this season as well, which is kind of crazy. Effort going to go up to 6 deaths as well. I haven't seen many 6-death games so far this season. A lot of firsts have occurred in this particular series. Inhibitors going down, and Gen.G looking to stamp their name on this series and bring us to that deciding game number 3. Nexus turret's all that stands in their way. As
Chovy
KT
jago banget ya.
gonna try and defend
Kak,
as best they can,
aku
but
sudah
man, these
kubilang,
wallets are
Chovy
so
memang
heavy.
jago.
A 16,
Dia
close
memang
to a
suka choking aja.
17,000 gold lead, Ox. I'll say it. I think it might get there, and
Jesus.
there it is. At least they do manage to take down King
Yeah.
towards the end, but that is a bare Nexus, and they will be able to take that one down. As never mind, wasn't quite 17,000 in
Tapi
the end,
Nexus
but
emang bagusan
16.8
Wild
is
Trip ya.
close enough, and that is the
Ya gak sih,
Gen.G
guys?
that we remember here in the LCK Cup. Back again
Nexus
for the
bagusan Wild
LCK
Trip,
for
ya sih?
2026. Better late than never, you have to say.
Daripada LoL PC.
Yeah, they break their game loss streak with that one, and you know they had a cool draft. Like the flex
Aku
between the
lebih
Jhin and the
suka
Varus
Nexusnya Wild
made
Trip.
sense, caused a lot of issues, and I feel like
Damage-nya
lane
sakit.
dominance has really dictated this series. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out in that game 3. You know, it was a rough game for KT, but you know, you're coming off the back of that really strong game 1. I think it's anyone's series still. With the
Secara model
performance
aja
we've seen
bagusan
from
Wild
both
Trip.
these teams
Tapi
so
kalau
far
model
today.
kan tampilan gitu, tampilan. Kalau gameplay, aku lebih suka Nexusnya Wild Trip aja.
It's just kind of odd that that's how it has worked out, because oftentimes you do see
Nexusnya
first pick
PC perasaan
selected.
kayak lembek
But now
banget
things
gitu.
get a little bit interesting as well, as it is Fearless. We're going to have a whole bunch of extra picks that we may not have necessarily seen so far this season. But time for us to take a short break. When we get back, the space is going to break that one down.
Well,
Then we'll have game number 3 for the first
We
time
have
in
3 games
2026.
at least. Let's go. 3 games. Hype, hype. Lembek karena udah kasih lapisan turret yang banyak. Iya sih, tapi cuma juga kalau lapisannya cuma 2 hit hilang. Champion haram ini lagi. Champion haram ini lagi. Oh, di sini kagak ada. Pada kagak pakai anu. Meteor. Langsung penasaran ya. Coba kita pakai. Lord Varus. Varus tuh dia kerasukan Darkin apa sih? Tapi nggak bawa meteor aku. Meteor Garden. Musuhnya ada BC. Satu badan ada 3 orang itu Parus. Nama Darkinnya apa sih? Nama Darkin yang hurufnya abjadnya ada huruf vokalnya 2 itu kan? Yang ngerasukin Parus apa? Ras. Ras McCain ya? Parus kan pacaran apa? 2 homo sama satunya Darkin kan? Parus ya Parus kayak. Oh, nama Darkinnya Parus. Kok nggak kayak nama Darkin sih?
Minions have spawned.
Jauh banget Q-nya. Dia masuk. Oh shit. Apa sih biasanya? Sini ya? Yomu.
Double kill.
Oh, mati tuh. Nice. Ngeri juga ini. Nice. 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 Wah gila, Q aku gak pernah miss, Cok. Buset. Seramnya. Scary. Buset, langsung di ulti, Cok. Top fuck. Aku takut. I'm scared. Nice. Kena gak tadi ulti gue? Kita bersembunyi di balik batu, masih tidak ketahuan. Yone masuk, kita ulti ya. Yone masuk nih. Aduh, miss ulti. Gak kupadanin. Sebaiknya kita menjauh, Bung. Kasih aja guys turret ya. Kolektor gak sih? Parjo nama Darkinnya. Parjo? Kok kayak orang Jawa ya? Why the name like Japanese lah? Mbak Yone. Parjo matamu nama lengkapnya. Parjo matamu. Jawa beneran itu. Darkin asli Jawa. Tolong, sakit. Nice. Thanks for the heal. God. Oh tidak, we need more. Makasih bang. Thank you. Ih, malas banget ya sama Yone. Yone sangat mengerikan, Ci. Takut gue. Aduh, pas banget aja. Pas banget jalan ke ultinya Yone. Pas banget jalan ke ultinya Yone, cok. Horor banget, bejir.
Shut down.
Sumpah takut sama Yone gue. Horor bet anjing. Wih, sniping fight cuy.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice, nice. Nembak kemana ini? Terima kasih atas covernya kawan. Bentar guys, udah mulai.
And a lot of power in that pick.
I like it.
Kin Ambesa.
So let's see what KT's response is going to be. Yunara, still an option. Not a whole lot of great things to pair with it is kind of the issue.
We have seen Yunara kind of paired with whatever, even though like the best pairing is Lulu. We've seen like Yunara and Nico be really popular. They are going to go for the Jarvan, so I haven't really seen what they're up against, but they're going to commit to that pick. It is a Cuz special, if we're being honest, a pick he's had a lot of success on.
True.
And is just a strong jungler in general, but does leave room for Gen G to try and make sure they have carries who can evade the Cataclysm and aren't just sitting ducks inside there.
Still just going to be the Yunara by the looks of things as the lock-in. They can, of course, pair something with it in their final pickup, but Gen G now with a lot of opportunities to pick something into this Yunara if they would like to. Hold on to the flex. I actually would really like to see not a top laner and not a jungler locked in here. Make sure that they keep things as ambiguous as possible. And maybe just lock in a strong bottom lane that they do want to play into this Yunara. Could be a thought. Let's just have a look at what they do decide to do. Hovering over Duro momentarily. And it will just not be what I was talking about.
I mean, lumayan OP Yunaranya.
That age-old combo when Annie was really firmly in the meta, Wukong Annie was just winning games. It was last year when we were in Legend Rise group. Annie Wukong was just winning non-stop, so
we're going to need to see some Rakan bans.
Yeah, I think so for sure. This is very much, okay, you've committed to this
Syndra.
Yunara pick. We're going to kill Yunara. That is basically the game plan for Gen G. We are going to try and dispatch off your AD carry here. And we see KT going for the Alistar. This is definitely a bot lane where you're like, look, we're going to get a lot of value out of the lane. It does mean you are going to be potentially quite weak in the lane because Yunara needs like access to the wave to stack up a passive. You have an Alistar who doesn't really provide that early. The one thing I will say is we've had a lot of enchanters, a lot of ranged champions banned, and we are going into the next ban phase where they can target some more things. The Rakan ban comes out immediately, no surprise there. Rakan with this composition would be disgusting.
Yep.
Would be honestly unplayable for
If you count Rakan as a ranged champion as well, I know he's sort of pseudo not, but that means that there are what, 7 range supports banned away so far. So kind of ridiculous. Does mean that the Alistar might get through without too much of a difficult matchup, as there is the Nautilus to be taken away as well.
Yeah, Nautilus
Alistar,
quite common
Yunara,
into
Jarvan.
Yunara, just that point and click CC that can come through. Something to note,
I like
Nivea is available.
Oh dear.
So
Oh, tidak, Anivia is free.
to completely choke them out.
Kayaknya Duro gak main Anivia sih emang ya?
Because Annie's fire type,
Duro
Yeah.
Anivia type?
so you can't play that.
Soro
I don't know if you're going to be
Jikako?
banned away here as well.
I'm not sure Nivea fully fits with what the rest of Gen G's comp wants to do, but the rest of the comp is already going to be diving in.
Duro
so,
Anivia?
you could just pick that just to crush lane. That being said, you could also just go something like the Rel. We know that Duro has a lot of fun playing that, being in thumbnails.
Yeah.
Involved for that.
Being a horse. There is the Zehen. I don't know about this.
Could he get toned down a little bit on this patch as well? It was bigger hits to the jungle than top lane.
Perfect main
Yeah, so
Zahin.
that's what he's going to be taking into the Ambessa. Certainly, as far as release date is concerned, there's not very many things that beat Ambessa. But Zehen certainly was released later as... Man, okay,
Ooh,
Gen G's really
Elise
want to win this
Caitlyn.
lane. And with Caitlyn Elise, you can certainly do that.
Yep, I like this. I mean, it's not, the Anivia, but it is just a combo that's like, we're going to crush lane. We're going to look to absolutely
There it is.
decimate.
He's back. Okay, so remember, Effort hovered Teemo in the last game.
BDD kali?
This time he's back to hovering
I
Nasus.
remember they lost last game.
Exactly.
In fact, every game of these hovered Nasus so far this season, they've won.
Exactly.
And every game of these hovered Teemo, they've lost.
So now Gen G obviously going to be sweating because the correct hover has happened. It's also Akali for BDD, which could be a scary prospect. Obviously, Toby should be okay for the early stages, but we've seen BDD really get some things done on this champ. However, not a massive amount of range.
Yeah, my concern here is that your lanes are not going to be in a great spot. Mid and bot in particular, Chovy should still be harassing Akali out of lane. Bot lane is going to be a terrible time. And Gen G have gone, we're going to crush lane. And also, in terms of later responses, or just trying to like hold them accountable, Caitlyn can play a range and use a a net to disengage, to escape from like a Jarvan Cataclysm. Elise is hard to pin down with the repel.
Yep.
This should be a very comfortable 2v2 for Ruler and Duro. And I feel like they had a great game 2. Game 1, wasn't particularly impressed. Game 3, they have put all the eggs and we are going to crush aiming, not let him play the game. The composition has a lot of tools to take him out. The lane has a lot of tools to put him behind. So, you put this Yunara in the dirt and I think KT just don't have any legs.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think there's going to be so much on the shoulders of Cuz in this game. I mean, if this Jarvan can land some ganks that work out against a lot of these pushing lanes that Gen G has, that could be what turns things around. But man, it's going to be tough. Let's get into the Rift.
KT fighting.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 3, our very first third game that we've had so far this season. And let's see who is going to be able to take it, as KT have a difficult draft to make work, but if they can make it through the lanes, maybe things will be all right, as BDD, he gets the ward down, but does have to take Shuriken backflip first, which doesn't feel fantastic.
I was thinking about the fact that, KT
Pintar
don't
banget dah
get
main
aiming out
spacingnya.
of this lane. That comp doesn't really have legs.
Yeah.
Duro has all the legs.
He does.
Yeah.
A lot of legs.
Also
And-
aiming. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that, like, Effort does have more legs than usual as well. But Duro really countered him by doubling even that amount of extra legs.
Yeah. Aiming goes cleanse, which completely makes sense, right, into Elise, into Annie. But it means the lane's even harder because you don't have that barrier, you don't have that extra effective HP for these trades, so he's just getting... Yeah, I mean, this is how we expected to go.
Yeah. But it's even harder when you have to watch it, you know? All right, zoned away from some experience here as well. KT, it's just not exactly a great time. Speaking of not a great time, Perfect also struggling a little bit here in the early laning phase. Let's see what he can actually get done here, but yeah, level 2, not
Gak
feeling
enak
like
main
the greatest
Zahen
of
Lian.
moments. Should be able to, you know, at least not die.
A little bit scary when King gets a level 3.
Yeah, we are just going to pan away. It was too scary.
Yeah.
As now Canyon rotating over towards his top side.
There's no nice lane to look at.
No. Unless you're a Gen G fan, in which case all of the lanes are nice to look at. As aiming with at least a Slurkle last hit, which feels good.
Honestly, the only way I can really see Genji struggling in the bot lane is if they just step too close to the tower and they get headbutted under it. That is the only thing they have to watch out for. Otherwise, they are kind of chilling. And even then, Duro being able to repel just means there's a good chance he just doesn't... It's such a risky thing that if you go for the headbutt, like the flash headbutt, and Duro repels it, it feels so bad.
Well, BDD trying to do what he can here, but Chobi throwing Pyroblast after Pyroblast at this Akali.
Yeah, so... Maybe we should just watch jungle if we want to find a lane that doesn't look rough for KT. There we go.
Yeah.
There we
PvE.
go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with the PvE from now on. And also, Cuz is, you know, well and truly on track to PvE at the same time as Canyon. As far, like, if we were to compare this to like Race to World First or something like that, like they'd be only like one or two bosses away from each other. I know a boss can take like 3 days, but still. Feeling all right as Duro is up here just protecting his Wukong. And yeah, it is like the good news is it's hard to find for KT. So let's just focus on Gen G. Getting back into some form here. Game number 2 looked oppressive to say the least. And game number 3 starting off pretty fantastically as well. Cannon is going to go awry as Perfect does at least manage to pull Keen back. But it doesn't really seem to be too
Kalau lawan Keen emang susah ya. Dia champion apa aja ada. Kau ban Cassandra, kau ban Gwen ada ambesa.
That's a while away, but
Championnya banyak kali wah itu orang.
It's a good repel from Duro, and that's kind of what really adds to the issues. If you're playing into like Lux, like I feel like the Elise is somewhat a bit more similar to Morgana in the sense that it's not just a frustration of the harass and the setup for the Caitlyn, but also it's really hard to actually punish it, to engage on. Morgana obviously has the black shield you can put on either target, but at least being able to repel like that is a real pain. At least with Lux, you know, if you do get on top of it, you can actually engage.
Yeah.
Emang banyak banget champion poolnya.
It's got nowhere to go.
Pusing dah lawan Keen.
He walks on the front.
Thank goodness. Avoids the cupcake. Feels good. But Genji going to be able to grab 2 plates so far in this bottom lane. And no real end in sight as far as the bad times are concerned for KT. 1,000 gold is the lead approximately.
Tapi jujur ya, pengen sih lihat Keen menang World.
This time, Fox.
I don't care about trophy, but I want to see Keen menang World sih.
He's pretty close to a second plate top as well, so...
Oh man.
I want to see Keen win World, guys.
This could be big.
Well, let's see whether they can actually lock down Ruler, who does take a bit of damage from aiming, who has at least been able to get towards a minion wave.
Yes, see, the thing is, right, they've spent the entire lane hugging that turret. BDD goes missing from mid lane, and suddenly aiming is running at you.
I wonder what's happening.
A little suspicious. Just a little bit.
They seem to have sussed it out as well.
Genji got the memo.
Yeah, Cuz going to be able to take a crab here. Looks like the first Drake not going to be a Chemtech this time around. Going to be a Mountain instead. And that does mean that going for this first streak is going to take a really long time. Not sure whether any of our junglers
Dulu mau tebus Tion pas Deus Fat tapi Genji nolak. Bukannya Kinnya yang kagak mau.
Yeah, so the fact that we actually had Cuz, BDD moving towards bot, the way bounce back has given Cuz a window into the Dragon, but I don't think you have much time to do this. Dragon resets, Chovy has tons of prio mid. This is very risky for KT to go for.
Yeah, right now Effort is rotating over. Let's see, Canyon and Duro here, the monkey and the spider.
It feels like Canyon was doing blue, and he was like, wait, they're actually doing dragon? Or not? He's like, I just want to take the blue. Wait, really?
So ultimately, the blue doesn't get stolen, but they might actually challenge Cuz for this Gronk. You can see KT playing pretty frightened at this point in time.
Entahlah, aku bosan lihat T1 di final.
Okay, Chovy's linked up as well. He has tippers available, so scary stuff.
Could be a 4v4, but you can see aiming is in that bottom lane. So KT needs to be very, very careful. They will be sacrificing their blue buff, but at least Cuz collects his Gromp. And the Inara gets a much needed time in the bottom lane by herself.
I do want to make a note that there's a...
Would you like a pen?
I'm okay. I have my own.
All right.
Little bit of a farm discrepancy in the mid lane of 32.
Oh, yeah.
BLG kemungkinan iya sih tahun ini.
Weathering the storm.
BLG kuat banget sih.
Yeah.
Sekarang.
Quite viciously. I mean, Annie. Okay, Chovy is one of those players pretty good at farming. Yeah. Annie is also one of those champions pretty good at farming, like the reset on the Q on the minion.
Yep. And,
berarti kalau misalkan BLG menang World, berarti Viper 2 trofi ya? Dua World trophy.
Okay, to add a little bit of like a half full cup, never mind.
Ngalahin Ruler.
Take a bear to the face. The half full cup is that we haven't had a first blood yet.
Okay.
You know, and Canyon will be able to take down this dragon most likely. But you know, 8.5 minutes, first Drake. Not end of the world here, as KT really do just want to stop this laning phase from happening. They want to get these quests finished and then just, you know, go about their business. As there is the Drake going down, Duro back to this lane right now. And I guess, like, one of the positives is that, you know, an Elise isn't that valuable after the laning phase.
Yeah. I mean, Alistair, you know, you pick those for the team fight.
BLG paling nggak udah ada 2 piala World kalau T1 gak eklis. BLG nggak pernah ketemu T1 di World kecuali final doang, cuma sekali.
As aiming's level 7, Effort's only level 5, but they still manage to get the headbutt back. There's the repel as the flash after from aiming, and he gets
aiming first blood.
Down first blood. Still, he is going to have to sacrifice himself for it. Doesn't have
okay,
nice. He's going to be able to get the triumphant roar to heal himself back up. So they do get the first blood, but immediately the punish does come in.
Yeah, honestly, I think KT overall okay with that.
Enggak, BLG di World juga
considering how rough the lane has
di playoff gak pernah ketemu T1.
To get a kill onto aiming specifically. He was the one who got rewarded with the kill credit. And let's take stock of actually where the bot lane is. Aiming's actually up in gold.
Yeah.
In terms of plates, they lost those 2 plates, sure. That's about it. The farm's not actually that much of discrepancy.
And aiming was actually ahead in farm for a little bit, I'm pretty sure.
This is the weird thing to me, is aiming
cuma di final doang waktu itu.
And Duro just walked so far forward and wasn't ready to repel the pulverize.
Yeah.
Like, it was clear that he was trying to
aiming udah manusia setengah Yunara. Aiming fix ini mau one trick Yunara sama Ezreal. Champion dia ada 2 itu. Sisanya insya Allah.
Yeah, it's a bit fun.
Yeah, I mean, Genji are ahead, sure, but they're not ahead enough that I'm like, okay, game is over.
No. And honestly, KT's composition will be able to do things if they're able to, you know, stop this lead from being on a more insurmountable side of things.
Masa finalnya T1 lagi sih, guys.
Yeah,
final Genji lawan BLG kayaknya banger gak sih? Kalau nggak G2. G2 lawan BLG finalnya.
In the area, 2 versus 3, not exactly the greatest for Genji. Is Effort just going to get on through? Just keep going. Drive on by. Yeah, the Ambassador doesn't make her way down towards this bottom lane. Gets exhausted immediately. as that was actually Duro getting exhausted. But still, Kane uses the teleport and gives Perfect a whole bunch of time.
Kalau Viper juara World, Lord Beryl ada teman. Lord Beryl, siapa lagi yang punya 2 piala ya?
The headbutt.
Zeus.
Yeah, he's probably just dead.
He is just doomed.
Zeus,
so,
Beryl.
evading that gank angle, the effort's able to fight. Oh,
Put it. Does gonna have to flag and drag to get himself out of there. Is aiming. Almost just dead. I believe that was a headshot that did come on forward. There is the Cyclone, and down goes aiming. Canyon will pay for it, though, as Cuz keeps himself alive. Peacemaker, not quite enough. As man, really would have liked to have that ulti, although there is a cow that could stand in the way. Kraken Slayer done a little bit late here for aiming from the grave. But KT keeping things even as far as these kills, and the gold lead has not swayed.
So close there. Also want to note that Ruler's gone for Berserker Greaves early. So maybe if he had a bit more AD, a bit more punch behind his autos, his damage, maybe could have
Sekarang cuma Beryl doang player non-T1 yang punya 2 world. Oh, yang non-T1.
Yeah, aiming gets completely chopped out here. And they're like, let's just go for the dive. Because even steps in the trap, but look how much damage Canyon takes because there's no minion wave immediately tanking the tower. The Spiderlings, I think, may have helped.
They are.
Yeah. Duro there.
T1 away, Genji po.
Canyon and Cuz
Menang dong berarti,
extraordinarily even in this
Genji.
game. We mentioned already that this game is going to be largely about how much Cuz can get done. So far, a decent amount. But would probably have liked to be a little bit more impactful. Just have to see how Genji go about navigating this mid to late game as we are heading towards it. Protect the President is likely to be the game plan here, as Ruler will be not in a whole lot of threat once all of the dashes and engage are used up, right? Like, he can kind of shoot everyone and they cannot respond eventually. And that's going to be a difficult time.
I think the main thing is BDD and Perfect getting backline access, right?
Yeah.
Finding angles to get onto Ruler. Because Genji going to fly forward, play aggressive, and if Ruler's left isolated, that's where it can be a little bit scary.
Effort is ready to do a thing. Scar Award, beautifully done. You love to see it.
Build it.
Kraken Slayer. Main Jahen tuh boringnya itu ya, build-nya gak bisa gonta-ganti. Main Jahen build-nya kagak bisa gonta-ganti, fix build Jahen. Jadi kalau lawan musuh gak bisa main counter item anjir. Build-nya udah itu. Kalau kalah ya udah.
Likely to be a 4v4. As we can see, overall goes Duro. But he goes up into the sky. Doesn't exactly have very many opportunities to come back down. But there's a Cyclone from Canyon. Gets in, gets out again. Aiming going to be okay for the moment as BDD has found the back line, but does have to use that ulti to get himself out. Canyon locks up the dragon.
Okay, aiming. Okay, aiming is blinding. Yunara. Tenaga dalam. Kamehameha.
With the enemy jungler. It's a Hextech soul this game as well. Genji licking their lips as they see that one come up.
Bisa nih aiming snowball.
Already in pocket.
Such a high roll from Genji to get that Hextech soul, considering it was a Mountain Infernal early. The fight doesn't quite go that way. They get the dragon, but some missed executions, I feel like, and we saw, CTP coming in now from the cow. I don't think they will be able to get him.
Pulverize does come on through there as Keen gets pulled back in a little bit of a way, but not really too worried otherwise.
Yeah, so Canyon could secure it with the Q Smite on the dragon to get it.
Effort just to try and stop Canyon there. Does have that Pulverize, but now Keen comes back. There's the headbutt. As they get the knock up at Keen, yeah, that's shields for days, as he does have that Eclipse, and now Perfect could be in trouble as well. Cuz is moving on in though, now Canyon is just dead. They're gonna turn
Holy
it.
shit, 2/1. Perfect is angry, bro.
Is able to help out. It's a double for Perfect and Cuz.
Mohon maaf, Perfect sudah meragukan Jahennya. Kami dari Karbit Indonesia ingin minta maaf pada Perfect atas performa Jahennya. Holy shit.
And aiming would have died. If that Peacemaker had landed, would have been a dead Yunara. So nicely done there. But KT, some swift kills.
Yeah, Genji just fall apart on the top of the map. You know, they managed to get a free kill in the effort, but they overstep.
Was that just a straight up flash? Did he just think he had Hex Flash? He may have thought he had Hex Flash.
No, he was
double kill kocak.
Aha, there we go. There's the value. I love it. I think, you know, you get more value the more you put things on cooldown.
There you go.
Flashes per game, guys. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. But now we're in a situation where, well, we'll see the Dragon Fit. So can you manage to secure this with a Q smite a little bit later? But you know, we saw Duro go with this angle. The stun is blocked by
Ruler udah on fire, dia udah melupakan masalah penjara. Tapi Ruler kena penyakit hex optik gila ya.
And now only engage has been used, so aiming is just free.
Kena penyakit hex optik gila dia.
Duro does manage to get the kill trade, but
Cuz lived for way too long that exchange, but this is where it all went wrong for Gen.
Well, I think the kill and the effort's completely fine, but you're never killing Perfect.
Ini Zahem 1/2 GG juga Bang Perfect Man.
I actually can just kill Wukong.
Das, dapat 1. Terus full stop. Mungkin ultinya miss lagi.
He's a little bit early. Mistimes it and ends up just, you know, airballing it.
Yeah.
So a really big
Let's go, Katie.
misplay from Gen G, but also just Katie
Perfect
coming in
improve
clutch.
banget ya.
Perfect 2-0 now.
Setahun
Really
ini.
was the one who set up that play with his turnaround on a
Plot
canyon.
twist final Nongsim versus Hanwha Live Dowat winner versus 3 Dowat winner.
In later game teamfights as well. The Grim Deliverance really does create so much area of control. And Gen G are going to have to be really wary of this guy as he builds towards item number 2 by the looks of things.
Especially
coming up
MVP-nya sama-sama 2 lagi ya.
Kind of struggle to kill in terms
Ingen,
of like
Scout,
burst. So
Guma,
killing someone like
Zeus.
Aiming, easy. Killing someone like Perfect
2 MVP
twice,
World versus 2 MVP
a little
World.
bit more difficult.
It'll be a
I
tough
can
one,
see
as well
that.
as the fact
Nongsim is pretty
the
strong.
classic Caitlyn trough situation might be mitigated a little bit with how powerful the 2 items that he's going for, 1 and 2, are going to be. But it's still like he's going to have no attack speed or anything like that moving into this mid game. Could be difficult for them to get that damage down consistently, as Cuz is just kind of running around the enemy jungle with impunity, and KT have a 1,000 gold lead. 1 minute on this Hextech Dragon as well, so if KT managed to take control of this game from here, the Quadra Hextech Soul is a possibility.
Pretty big. But that next dragon's going to be the main thing.
Nongsim udah
If
gak badut
Gen Z
lagi
get
lah.
that, it's going to put a lot of pressure
Keren,
on
Nongsim.
KT for the rest of the game. Yes, KT are ahead, but there's not much in it. if we're
Awal
being
season
honest.
ini kemarin solid man.
And the composition is still good out
Si
of Gen Z,
Scout
right? We
kayaknya
know
udah wake
that
up
they
sih.
have tools, they can start fights, and you know, like
Scout
the
is officially
throw a bear
online.
at them, throw a monkey at them combo is pretty good.
Yeah, Duro's gone Vandal Pipes
Oh, he's hyper.
on Elise, which in terms of vibes, great. In terms of what it's achieving,
Sama Lehen kemarin bagus main
The
Anivianya.
amount of vibes. The more useless it is, the more vibes
Ya
it
kasih
gets.
G2 lah.
You know, that's how it
Emang
kinda goes.
ada tim LCK yang bisa menang lawan
He's making his
G2?
way down towards Keen here. Doesn't want to give him a great angle, but still, Keen is going to throw down the ulti.
Sejauh
Flag and
ini
Drag
aku
is gonna
tidak
lock him
melihat
up,
ada
and I
tim
don't know whether
LCK
he's
yang
gonna
bisa
escape from
ngalahin
this one.
G2.
Backflip from BDD, but he is surviving for a really long time. There's a Cataclysm in the end. Does no damage at all, but sends a message.
Selain T1.
As BDD locks up his first one of the game. Aiming is just dashing after Duro here as the ace in the hole comes down. Perfect, just trying to defend this outer turret, but man, Crystalline Overgrowth and Ruler is going to put an end to that one, as KT should be able to take this 3rd dragon of the game.
yeah, just picked the worst time.
And, oh my goodness, Canyon got in there. There's a headbutt pulverize. Effort is dead. Okay. KT now underneath their outer turret in the bottom lane. BDD just trying to backflip his way towards it as best he can. The Slurper value
Sakit itu Yunara.
absolutely
Cuma tanknya mati aja.
as Gen G will back away.
Kind of weird
Iya,
play from Gen G
perfect.
on the back end.
Perfect
because they got
kayak
the mid
MVP
towers,
lagi
they got the
deh.
kill, but
Kalau
they just,
menang
like,
KT.
overcommit bot and end up losing their own mid tower in return.
Oh yeah, Cuz also just gonna get cocooned.
Pas.
Does get a bunch of his
Oh, gak
health
mati.
bar back, and Chovy is
Oh,
gonna take
Chovy
it
is
out by
joking!
BDD. 5 point strike going to do it. Great repel avoids the shuriken. but
Chovy
still has
melakukan
to flash
choking
Hexgate
lagi.
to get out. That was a big cute from Duro.
Nice,
He's going
Chovy,
to survive.
nice.
However, KT still just getting stuff around the map.
It's been such a
Heran kenapa
scrappy
tim besar
passage of
pada
play,
malas
but
main tank
ultimately
support
KT
padahal
got the
mereka
dragon,
kalah
that's what
badan
they
warnya.
wanted. They got a good amount of damage
Beda
onto that
bang,
mid tower.
pikiran pro player
And they get this
berbeda
bot tower
dengan
as well, so
Perfect is
kami
becoming a
para
large
bronze.
problem.
he absolutely is. Effort is having a problem.
He is having a problem. It reminds me of
No.
that thing in Dutch that Chronicler taught him.
Oh, I remember that one. But he found a solution. He has Hex Flash again. Unlocked.
Si Chovy
There we go.
ngapain dah?
Perfect.
Dia
Yeah,
sendirian di
Prisms are
situ.
just checking here.
Terus sekarat
Get the
And
ward down.
ke situ.
Value.
aiming is
Mati.
a big problem.
No,
but it's
what?
chance to auto attack, doing a lot of damage.
Bro,
This was just a
tidur
very
kah?
sort of
The hell?
scrappy
Having a look in live, Duro, not a whole lot of places to go as he's just dead. Aiming grabs his third of the game, and he's Yunara. This is a champion that can become a massive problem, like you were saying. And that is just going to continue here as, okay, Effort taking a little bit of a drive towards the top lane, is looking to try and knock up Chovy. And Chovy is going to do the walking away thing.
If he hit Chovy, maybe he could hold in a headbutt. BDD wasn't that close.
No one was there.
BDD was a little, kinda, maybe. It would have looked cool.
It would have definitely looked cool.
It would have looked sick. That is, again, vibes, impeccable. Actual impact, less so.
Honestly, Effort needs a Bandle Pipes, really, as he's hex
Cara ngalahin Katie biar Ezreal Yunara.
Perfect.
Jangan kasih tahu aja. Rahasia itu, rahasia kita.
As Effort going to cleanse himself, BDD dash cannoning over, looking for an opportunity here, but does get on top of Ruler now, and executes him. Perfect execution comes down, the bottom lane is obliterated, and Effort survives! My goodness, Effort has just kind of gone crazy towards the end of this series, for better or worse. Is now King looking for the opportunity for public execution onto aiming his
King, I hate you!
Grim Deliverance
Benci banget gua sama King!
Against KT this time as Perfect goes down, and there is the counter punch.
A little bit of an overstep there from KT. They managed to take out Ruler, but they end up paying pretty
Kampret
heavily.
ada aja dia cara comeback si King ya. Benci banget gua sama King.
This was just Duro. You know, we've all been there.
Yeah.
See that juicy control award.
I'm so safe because I've got Repel.
Yeah. Level 7 Bandle Pipes at least, not strongest.
6 levels behind BDD, by the way.
2 levels behind Effort as well. And here, stuns, BDD, it's like, I'm helping, I've got you. Not enough.
No.
Just gets obliterated. But here, there's a bit
Kok
of the overstep that
bisa ya?
comes through, and
2
this ends
versus
up
5
just being
menang.
the power of this
How the fuck?
Wukong Ambessa core. And this is what Genji's come want to do. It's just kill aiming.
Yeah. And it
you
works.
see, look how close the Grim Deliverance was to stacking it up. Not quite able to get it there. But yeah, so they're very good at killing aiming. So even when he's fed, it's still a little bit of a concern.
Gak ngaruh, KDA-nya bagus juga, goldnya sama kocak.
It's kind of like you guys are on your own. You know, figure it out. We'll do our jobs. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else.
I was waiting for the follow-up, but I think your point was there isn't a follow-up.
Yeah, there isn't. There really isn't. It's just Ruler and Duro.
Maybe that's the engage for Genji, is enemy team kills Ruler and Duro, and then we've got it from here.
I think it'll start to work well when it's only Duro who dies, and Ruler stays alive and can do some damage too. It's a big ask, I know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Ya, Ruler hari ini
I think one of the big problems in this game is the canyon is
kayak
so
not
fed.
exist sih.
This Wukong is kind of massive, almost has 3 items done, and he just, when he presses Cyclone, KT's health bars just kind of evaporate.
Yeah, and everyone's short range, so he is getting a lot of value on a lot of targets.
Well, Perfect does
Ruler
complete his
bukan
stride
penggaris
breaker.
lagi
There is 2
sekarang,
items on Keen as
jadi
well,
busur.
Oh, that feels bad.
He's just going to tank that one.
Ruler changed his name into Arch now.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Not going to go for anything. Duro is rotating over.
Okay, Dragon's up.
This is the big one.
Yeah, would be third again for Genji, but KT happily just keep stacking them up if they can, but Genji moving into contest. Look at BDD who has this flank through mid.
BDD ada di belakang, no vision.
Can always get there with the public execution as well as aiming with control. The Drake for now. So we toggle the vision. Perfect makes his way in. Ruler!
Ruler died!
They take him down. Aiming now in trouble as well as both AD carries just hit the floor, but it's Cuz that locks down the Dragon.
Full stack itu Zahin. Zahin full stack.
Access to a fair bit of damage. Still the Grim Deliverance and Perfect!
Oh ya, udah pulang. Chovy pulang sih. Emang enggak deh kayak trauma Chovy dibantai gitu kayak.
I think it's just so hard to cut through Perfect, especially once he gets his passive stacked up. When you burn all these tools on taking down the
Trophy
enemy
masih
carry,
kena penyakit gitu dia.
You saw BDD wrapping round, and really it was just neither AD carry got to play the game, but you know, aiming had teammates who were able to offer up more in the extended
Gini loh dia main Zahin. Lah, kemarin aku main Zahin legendary.
Didn't help, but you know,
Wanted to try and survive. There is no canyon. This should be a Baron over to KT. Gen.G going to try and make them work for it, as we can see here. As it's going down lower and lower, there's the knock-up. Cuz still in range of this Baron, but you can see now
kesampah sama Kin, aing ngamuk. Oke. Oke, nice, dapat Baron. Ya percuma dong Baronnya.
And yeah, you got the Baron, but was it worth it?
This not worth it.
Remember, Baron just doesn't give us much gold this year, so you lose the Baron buff on a lot of your members. Gen.G get a chance to push in. They get a lot of gold from that too. This doesn't feel as good as you'd hope. They got the dragon in this fight. We're gonna have a look at, but look at Ruler, by the way. BDD and Perfect. This timing on that flank. Duro moves over, heals him, and goes, "Yeah, that's all I got for you, buddy." Doesn't even switch to human form. He
didn't even play the Vandal Pipes.
Yeah, man. He's like, "You're on your own."
Emang susah sih main Elis. Kalau susahnya main Elis ya, skill dia kebanyakan. Kalau lagi war gini, pusing gak sih mikirin kombonya? Kalau gua mah liur ya main Elis. Pusing aja kalau war mikirin skill, pakai skill mana ya? Okay.
Kind of both.
Yeah, they did burn. And they did turn in circles.
Yeah, they turned into corpses.
Yeah. At least Cuz managed to dash away.
Get out, yeah. I mean, if they had lost the Baron as well,
Ruler sudah bajak sawah.
Yeah, if someone had
itu yang benar VTuber.
the Baron when there was no jungler there, that would have really
bayar pajak, bajak sawah.
No, never.
Kenapa sawah?
I've never heard of that happening ever. Not once in my life have I seen something like that. As Cuz throwing flags at them, public execution does come down in response, but there is the pulverize as well.
Tebel banget.
Going to get punished a little. Yeah, top of his health bar and his ulti.
I would have gone for personally, but I think it was just fishing, seeing if the follow-up could come through. But Cuz able to dash away.
Elis gampang, EWQR,
Baron is still
repeat.
here, remember? So these yeah,
tergantung situasi gak sih?
Does sacrifice most of himself in order to try and keep that cannon alive, which ultimately doesn't really work out.
Yeah, Ruler still doesn't have LDR. He is starting to do a lot of damage, but you don't do much damage when you're dead, unless you're playing Kog'Maw or Karthus.
True.
Or like old Zyra, you know, the pre-weave.
Yeah, I love
with the little flower.
I always got so much value out of that passive.
Ambessa kemarin, Ambessadoran kena counter sih.
Zyra is just press all your buttons and die. That is the play pattern.
It was actually the best. You know, as long as you got the Stranglethorns off, and then you died, get that true damage.
Yeah,
man, did so much damage in team fights. But we digress. That was 1 billion years ago. And now, KT still utilizing this Baron pretty well. As you can see, a lot of pressure here towards his bottom side as the inner turret had already fallen in mid. Haven't quite got this one just yet. This siege minion was doing a fair bit of work.
Susah banget ya pengen lawan Gen.G.
It is taken by Cuz. Canyon not quite able to lock that one up.
Udah benang posisinya juga susah banget.
Going for a Baron or a Soul or an Elder or something.
Elis jungle enak kayak cobain deh. Malas mikir.
Yeah.
Mending main Laviri.
Like, I know we talked earlier this game when Cuz invaded him and he just kind of adjusted the path. You know on the inside it's really sad.
Oh, he's seething.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, game is still very close. KT have gotten the last 2 dragons, 40 seconds till the next one. Either team has a chance to move to 3. But it feels like the game is at this point, if you get a convincing ace, you could just end, potentially, so it's a little scary. But with how this game has been so back and forth, so close, letting either side get this 3rd dragon is going to be a big problem. Right now, Gen.G have got control of the area, and when you have a Caitlyn, when you have an Annie or Wukong...
Bener, aku kayak harus mulai pakai build-nya Pyosik sih. Aku udah hafal build-nya Pyosik. Sojin, Blackcliff.
Blue buff is secured by KT. Pretty close there. As we have a flanking teleport from
Sojin, Blackcliff, Dead Dance, GA.
Already taking a fair bit of damage here as Cuz engaged on by Gen.G. Gets the Cataclysm over onto Chovy as BDD gets in amongst it, but he's taken down very, very
hard. Wah, sakit banget itu kali. Wah, gila BDD.
KT playing it beautifully, but now is the counterpunch to Keen. Locks up Cuz, that is a smite now dead. But KT still have a man advantage, aiming, hitting the dragon, and BDD managed to make it out to safety. Perfect. Looking to try and dash forward, gets a knock-up onto Duro, who does have a minion to dash towards.
Oh, kena mati itu kayaknya. Tinggal. Fokus.
Opposite number. Hoop to the head. And now Canyon likely to die here as well as Amy chases him
BDD.
down. That is 4 dead.
Love
and
you.
KT, they've forgotten about the Drake. They want to break
Love
the base.
you,
BDD
BDD.
got so much value there on the Akali, jumps straight on a Chovy and gets Ruler 2 as a bonus.
I just have to say, watching BDD play League of Legends is one of my favorite things. And it's been really nice to do it in the last few team fights. Let's have a look at it again.
The Hex Gate's helping out so much to get these flank angles. They just jump straight on a Chovy and they turn
Nah,
the
Firi
engage
first item
round
habis gak sih?
onto Cuz.
Iya, kalau normalnya emang itu build-nya. Tapi kemarin aku lihat Piosik main pasti bikin Sojin, Black Clip sama Dead Dance sama GA. Mantep aja. Nah, Firi fighter.
And they're dealing with this looming threat of the Yunara.
Kalau build biasa sih pasti Hubris sama itu tuh yang apa sih? Axel.
The whole time, Canyon was trying to kill BDD.
Axel apa Axel sih namanya?
Incredibly low, ultimately dies to him in the end. And it is KT that take down that third Drake. So
Gue Sojin jadi item
what I was
kedua.
talking about, like largely facetiously earlier on in this game.
Kalau misalkan
KT could
Sojin
make
item
it
kedua,
to Quadra Hextech Soul.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
there's
Hextech.
nggak
We know
masalah
that
sih.
Too much Hextech is a problem.
A lot of value on these champions. Like a good few of them who get good value from the attack.
Habis Hubris dibikin murah pas ini Kak.
But yeah, Hextech Soul in general.
Kita mah, tapi aku pengen nyoba buildnya kayak si apa?
They take him out.
Buildnya si Piosik tar.
If you're slowed as well,
Tapi tergantung musuh juga sih. Kalau musuhnya tipis mah. Kalau tim kita banyak tank mah mending main Hubris. BDD masuk. BDD terlalu bersemangat, cok. BDD terlalu bersemangat. Oke, nice banget, Kos. What the hell, JG Day 1 kalah, cok. I think Genji is just gone.
Charges forward to take out Ruler, and aiming is there to pick up the triple, and now they're gonna look to end the game.
KT with a perfect week against
Goodbye,
T1
Elias.
and Genji. That is what we're looking
Goodbye.
at as he finishes it off, grabs the ace, and the Nexus is the last to go down.
Bahkan tidak perlu soul ya.
2-0
Damn.
in the first week of LCK
Damn.
2026.
I mean, I feel like the T1 upset already was a crazy way to start the season. That was enough. The fans were overjoyed. And you were thinking, like, the roller coaster, how high can it go? It's still
Apakah
going
aiming
up.
daripada ruler? Enggak ya, tetap ruler ya. Tapi ini karena kayaknya Genji masih kagak tahu deh aiming one trick Ezreal sama Yunara, cok. Itu literally 2 champion dia itu doang itu. Ezreal sama Yunara doang. Kalau di ban menang kali. Kurang respect. Genji tidak respect aiming. Gila, perfect, jago banget, bangga banget gua.
It was a good bounce back after that loss in game number 2. The Varus was a struggle, but man, PDD on his Akali every single time taking down Ruler. As soon as they turned their attention to him, aiming was there to pick up the slack.
I think it's very clear this team had a lot of struggles in the LCK Cup. You know, effort coming in.
MVP siapa guys? MVP guys.
To have helped a lot, but I think as well they must be
MVP
doing a lot of
BDD
work
lah ya.
between then and now to get to this point. They just took down. I mean, we saw all
BDD
the
lah
teams
MVP.
saying before the start of the season.
Zoe-nya, Akali-nya.
Genji were gonna win. It was Genji who said T1 were gonna win. Well,
Aiming.
KT just took them both down. It's a great look.
Enggak sih, BDD guys ini.
KT were gonna win. Oh wait, because they KT. And I don't think I would say it. Anyway, but do you know what's happened, Ox? And this might be a little bit selfish to think of it this way.
Perfect bisa
but
jadi.
Man, the Pog State's gonna be a lot of
Tapi
fun.
perfect early gamenya kalah mulu udah sama Kim. 3 game ini.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I think it's going to be BDD.
This is an
I
incredible
mean 3 game apa? Perfect 3 game dia kena gap Kim.
Because it's KT. That's the thing that's really rough about it. But
Tim yang ini keren sih.
They played their last series beautifully. And I can't believe that adding effort, who has been
Lanjut BFX kah? BFX itu lawan Bro kah?
He manages to turn it around like this.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear that they were struggling to figure out the support situation. Some stability there definitely helped, and I say that.
Aku lanjut tapi gak streaming ya. BFX bro, aku kagak streaming ding.
But it's a great bounce back, and this game was close. This was scrappy. This was hard fought. You know, the other two games this series were pretty one-sided, but this was one where
ini hasil latihannya apa ya?
KT just executing on what they want to do.
Besok kita nonton T1 satu match, habis itu nonton LCP.
I'd say a bit of a better job of mitigating. When it came to those team fights, I love the collapses. Whenever you see these angles of approach,
they just always, BDD and Cuz are in there together as well, like every time.
And Perfect too. And I feel like the Hex Gates helped, and it's honestly, it's reminiscent of that game they had in Summer Playoffs
LCP Detonation Focus Me besok. BTW di Detonation Focus Me ada Fisher. Hype sih LCP sih. Mid lane baru DFM ada Fisher. Mahal loh itu mid lane LCK. Jepang dapat mid lane LCK, GG juga dapat Fisher. Fisher mahal ya.
We thought that maybe things would really change, and it looks like they're getting some of that back. And the fact that it's on the back of Perfect having
LCP
such an
tidak jam 1
incredible
siang lagi kah? Jam 4 sekarang sore LCP. Tapi besok aku juga cuma pengen nonton Fisher doang sih. Sisanya kayak enggak. GG Chick semua region dimasukin LCK. Masalah kagak balance. LCK kagak balance. Kita harus meminjam kekuatan musuh untuk. Gak ada yang percaya sama aku dibilangin BDD MVP.
The bubbles were insane, and then the Akali game was just vicious. You could never really feel sad about a BDD POM, and this one
Oke guys, aku mau offline dulu. BFX versus Bro, aku nonton di TV aja dah. Mau mandi. Bye-bye ya. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe. Sampai jumpa besok. Jangan lupa kita nonton LCP. Kita ramaikan stream KD biar bisa dapat jatah MS.
Any POMs this week. They're against T1 and Gen G, and they managed to come out on top. So
bye-bye,
hearing from
guys.
BDD and about what has changed in this team to bring them to this level, that's what's going to be the most interesting.
For sure.